this wind.
It's for the listeners. Done. Put your pants back on.
Yeah, sure. So this is episode number
32, recording this on the 3rd of December 2012. We're coming to the last month of the year, and listen to that wind.
We're outside.
because summer has hit.
Yeah, third day of summer.
I'm eating mangoes. I'm wearing shorts.
It could be
I'm
the last
outside.
day of summer because tomorrow we're going to go another week of storms. So after having a week of storms last
Well, it might be. And then that Cthulhu planet's coming, isn't it?
Oh, right, yeah, so that's it.
We got to cover that.
We're done.
Zim Zam Zoombul. Sure, Brian Cox doesn't want you to know about it.
It's currently 28 degrees at 9 o'clock Celsius at 9 o'clock at night. And my phone says it feels like 23 degrees.
Which one are you going to believe? You
I
or
don't
your
know.
phone?
It feels hotter than 23 degrees.
Oh, well.
You got to go with the phone.
Yeah, because it tells you when to urinate. And
Does the
rub
phone
one
tell
off,
you when
doesn't
you
it?
need to rub out?
But yeah, there should be an app for that.
We know. We talked about this before.
Why don't you market an app for it? You could probably, punch in. It could just be an app that
You could
works off
drop
that
a little
other
bit
one.
on the screen of
Yeah.
your business, and it could shine the light on it, do some maths, figure out what's going on.
Didn't Harry
inside
had
you,
some
and then,
app that scanned your finger to find your pulse or something?
Yeah, Zoe had that.
Yeah. Did it work? Or was it just
Yeah,
a
it was
myth?
really cool. No, it was good.
Okay.
What would you use it for, though? Just to check
Check your
someone's
heart
pulse? Oh, check your heart rate. Oh, that's cool.
So when you're running, you have to hold your phone up to
Oh
your
no,
finger.
it doesn't for that. You just sort of sit there and it just does it.
Yeah, so it's for when you're watching, Walking Dead or something.
Yeah. Well, the
You're like,
last
how scared am I?
the last Twilight film. You guys watch it?
No, I've heard.
Is the
I've
person
heard
who
amazing things
wrote
from-
that alive? Or is it like
Yeah.
a J.R. Tolkien thing?
No, it's from 100 years ago.
Is it? I wonder what the person who
It's written
writes it
there.
is like. Is she like a famous...
She was a repressed Mormon, I think.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
So she busted out in this sexual.
Which was actually really pretty lame.
So she gets in trouble for it. She's
And
been
then it gets pretty
ostracized.
filthy in the last book, I think.
It's it's one of those things where if you've read it, maybe it all makes sense. But when someone describes the last book to you, it just sounds absolutely ridiculous.
So I've brought 2 beers, 2 cantinas, cervezas, y un box of magnums. So I've got 2 beers and 4 magnums, and there's 3 of us.
How are you going to split that?
I don't know how you do the math.
The person
on that.
who doesn't get a beer gets 2 magnums.
I'd
Double
rather
the
a beer
magnum.
than double magnum.
Oh, what? You worried you go straight to your hips?
Yeah.
I've got work tomorrow, so I'll... You guys can have the beers if you want.
All right. Deal.
And I got work tomorrow, but I'm having a beer.
Yep.
Do you drive to work?
In a forklift. It's double dangerous.
Sweet.
That's good.
To your left.
Oh, that's right. We got some listener mail just before we...
Well, we haven't even introduced ourselves.
Yeah, sorry. I'm James, and to my left,
It's Campbell.
and then over there,
Fred.
And he's turning up the queen.
you can probably hear some wind blowing. Yeah, we are outside, trying to be all romantic and...
Really?
Are you
have
trying to
an
be
evening.
romantic?
Yeah.
Oh.
Get the atmosphere of Perth.
Well,
Balmy
I mean,
nights in
look,
Perth.
we're having beers in the night.
Got the tree lighted up.
Illuminati style. And, mangoes outside at night.
What I want to do is get a massive sound system put up there and get a strobe light and then play Skrillex with the strobe light.
Why?
You get
On
everyone.
a tree.
Have you seen all these
trees and I think...
Have you seen all these dubstep Christmas
tree
house
mixes.
No.
Christmas houses that have come out this year? I'm like, I could do this with a whole tree.
That'd be cool. But it'd be like a beacon for everyone partying down in Leaderboard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They'd see the tree, they'd be like, oh my god, or I've got to get over there. So, are we doing listener mail?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we didn't get much, but we did get one very interesting email just before 2 o'clock. Dear Fangin, just finished the latest ep, and I have a couple of points.
Uh-oh. Sounds like we're in
One,
trouble.
I think you need a female on the show just to see how Fred reacts. Is this astronomer girl his superior?
No.
Oh, what are you trying to say?
You mean
Science is a
superior
girl
in which
thing.
sense? No. She's a PhD. I'm a postdoc.
Oh.
I'd be her superior, but she's in a different department, so.
Two,
Superior.
I don't understand what you were talking about Fred cutting up his certificate. Please explain.
I choose not to explain that.
I think we do need to
no.
get some context. We probably badly described it. Thanks for the show. I'll be sad when Fred leaves. Love ya, Brizzy. Brizzy M wrote back. So she hasn't
Brizzy?
forgotten about it.
That Brizzy.
Yeah.
That Brizzy? She sent an attachment to her email?
No attachments this time.
But that's the same one.
Yeah, I think so. So Fred, did you email Jacinta?
No, I didn't.
So lots of questions for Fred from Brizzy. What are you going to answer? So
No,
can you
she's
explain
not-
this
You're going to get in
rivalry
trouble?
with-
She's in-
Yeah, it is the same, Brizzy.
Jacinta's in a different department.
What department is she in? It's
She's in
astrology,
the
isn't it?
International Centre for Radio Astronomy.
And you are in
And I'm in the Department of Physics.
Skrillex, laser, light shows.
Laser frequency standards and metrology. So, she's in a different department. I'm not really a superior. I don't see her very often. So,
Is there a bit of, like, when you pass her in the corridor, does she give you a shoulder? Like,
she's not even in the same building.
no.
So how do you know her?
One of the PhDs knows her.
Oh,
Got on
right.
with her.
So you've actually seen her, and you didn't say, "So are you coming on the podcast?"
I literally haven't seen her since then.
And did you say, "Are you coming on the podcast?"
When I didn't see her, just like an empty corridor.
Fun. No, when you did see her.
Is she
I
your,
haven't seen her since.
is she your imaginary
Since
friend?
she accosted me in my lab about you
About?
creeping around.
Right. And what did you say? You didn't say, "So are you coming on?"
I did.
And she said,
She was asked to think about it. I literally haven't seen her. I'll be more positive this time, though.
"What? You're going to be on one more show."
Well, the
Right?
thing is, we need her when Fred's gone.
Well, that's why we should get her on. Well, I guess I can just go behind Fred's back, but it wouldn't be
I can email her if
wouldn't
you
be
want.
wouldn't it be creepy if I invited her and she turned up without you having any role in it, Fred? Wouldn't that be
Yes.
creepy?
Yes.
You should do a handover, Fred.
I'll try and invite her if I see her.
That's the. I think.
And
that's-
the thing about the certificate is these guys wanted me to take
No,
my...
whoa.
Oh.
Whoa. It wasn't us.
No.
It was.
Initially, let's get to the origin of this.
Just as
The alpha.
Fred gave his word that we'll read out any mail that we get. He gives his word. He sits down and says, "I give you word on." He gave his word on something else many years ago.
I think this is one of those situations where you two just decided that's what I said
No.
after it happened.
Why would we
why would
come
you?
up with this idea?
Because you're idiots.
Oh,
I've only said it
Fred
once
was
late at
so
night.
pleased that he graduated from his bachelor's degree that he said he was going to use it to create a smoking
He was going to
device.
roll a joint out of it
Yeah.
when I got my doctorate.
a massive joint.
No,
out
I
of
think
his-
you're going to do it just
No,
with your
it
bachelor,
was
and
your
then you're like,
bachelor.
"Oh, I can't do it because then what if I don't get my doctorate? Then that'll be my only certificate." And we're like, "We gave you a pass then." We're like, "Fine, Fred. When you get your doctorate, we'll set a goal. When you get your doctorate, you'll cut off a segment."
No, I thought he was just going to roll it up as one big like Cheech and Chong
Like an
style
A4 piece of
doobie. I thought that was the plan. I thought you were just like hells bells.
Well, that would be
buying a
awesome.
Z
That
and
would
just
be amazing.
rolling it.
I would have said that would have been 6 years ago now. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
but
not
you
a man
gave
of
your word on it.
Yeah, but you signed up for your PhD 6 years ago, and
Yeah,
you've done that. How come you could do that but not the other thing, Fred? And what about the Coca-Cola bit?
Well, that's
And last week you were saying that, what if I need it just in case I need a copy of it? I'm like, well, can't you make the copy before you smoke it? Then you will always have a copy of it.
what if I need the original?
Why would you ever need the original?
How would they know it's not the original?
No one would ever ask for the original. They would just ask for a copy of it.
Oh.
And it's not like you have to take the whole thing. Like, how much do you need to cut out? It's not a big certificate. It's a pretty big certificate, right?
It's an A4 piece of paper.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it?
You just take off. I bet there's a margin on it big enough to
No,
smoke.
there's no margin. It's the crummiest looking thing you've ever seen.
No, smoke it up.
Well, you better bring it on Friday night. We're going to find it. We're going to rip this house apart.
We're going to hide it then.
Yeah.
All right, so
that's it.
Good to
So
know.
that's what we would.
Is your sister coming? Can we
No,
call
she's
her?
in Melbourne.
Well, she might be flying back for your big night. I don't know.
Nah.
So you're doing FIFO work in Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fly in, and then 2 years later I fly out.
Okay. I mean, that's the Perth lifestyle, really,
Yeah,
isn't it? You're not
so I'll get some
commuting.
high vis for the flight. Just
to
seems
do
like
your
it's a
part
thing.
and get absolutely trashed on the plane.
Stock up in
and
high
swear
vis here and then sell it for a premium.
Oh yeah,
This
or,
is the latest,
or vice
this is
versa.
the
Bring it
latest
back.
style
yeah.
from Perth.
Work out what's cheaper there or there and then bring it back or
It's
take it
gotta
over.
be cheaper here,
depending.
doesn't it? Or maybe it's not.
But maybe they jack
No,
up
they
prices
jack up
because
the prices
they're all
the traders
rich.
are on such good wages.
Yeah.
It's probably
I could buy high vis in Perth and send it to Boulder, and then buy like onesie underwear things
Is that what Zoe wants you to bring
and
back?
mail it back. I don't know. I don't know what else they have there.
They'll probably have like cougar skin suits or something.
probably.
Yeah, I might hunt a mountain lion when I'm there.
That would be pretty amazing.
A couple of things we did promise to talk about, but we didn't. One was 3D printed cars. Aston, and there's a link to an article with 3D printed. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, I threw that article up there. I haven't actually read the article. I
Sounds
think
like a really terrible idea.
no. Well, I think what they did was for the new Bond film Skyfall.
Which I've seen, by the way.
They made 3D printed shells of Aston Martins that were going to be used for the stunts, so then they could trash them, and it was like really.
The Aston Martin has a
Right.
fairly epic demise in
okay.
Skyfall. So that explains why they did it. So they've 3D printed it.
Yeah, so 3D printing, man.
I did a live
They do that in IKEA.
live show on Jimmy's Film last week with a guy.
Do they do
who's
3D
pretty
printing
interested.
in IKEA?
Yeah, so some guy just develops a new. This is what the literal example was: a new type of fork, like a new design for a fork. So he 3D prints it,
And then passes
prototypes it in like half an hour, and then you can look at it and be like, "Oh, it's pretty good, but maybe the tongs should be a bit longer."
Yeah. But you can get like 3D printers are super cheap as well, which is crazy.
Yeah, you can get ones for
Are
like
they-
under $1,000.
Is it strong though?
Well, it depends. You've got to put in whatever material you want to put into it.
They have this cool
You
stuff.
can, but you can even you can even print with sugar. So like as a material, you can print for like just about no cost.
Till it
Cheaper than a printer.
I've also heard that you
Until it
can.
rains.
Yeah.
They have this certain stuff that it can use two materials at one time, right? And so you build this thing up, and then you have to put it in water overnight.
Yeah.
And it,
I
maybe
think
we talked
that's so
about
you
it
can
before,
So
it
you can have
dissolves
floating parts
Yeah, floating
or
shadow.
without
under,
it bending.
Like you build an arch
under
on it.
bridges or so. Yeah, like an archway. Yeah.
Which you could only do on really expensive things, but I think it's this year the cheap 3D printers are just implementing that now, so it's getting really cool what you can make before. Because the old cheap 3D printers, it's like everything would warp after you've cooled down.
What would you 3D print? Like, I can't imagine why I'd use a 3D printer.
Dildos.
So you'd make a 3D print of your own dick. Would you go at 3/4 scale?
It's
or
pretty hard to
20%
make a
scale?
cast. Didn't you make a cast? No.
I did prints.
Of your own dick?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
When?
Your mum's got one.
But that's what it's
Funny guy.
it's a pretty big industry in Perth because all the FIFO workers leave their wife behind, and he's like,
Is it? So you can back that up with a fact.
well, I think I read I'll try and Google an article put in the show notes, but yeah, the wife gets the husband's. It's like a gift you can give, like it's a boutique.
Like, I'll always be with you.
I think they do this all around the world. It's just more popular in Perth at the moment because of the FIFO
You
industry.
say we're the capital of DIY?
I think we're the biggest consumers of
dildos in
molds.
Australia.
custom molded dildos.
I mean, already, we're 10 minutes in, we've identified a couple of business opportunities that we need to
Yeah.
pursue in the next 12 months in
Do
terms
you think
of
it's
scraping money out of the FIFOs.
once you have the option to get a custom molded device, is it cheating to use someone else's mold?
Yes.
What, like if Zoe has my mold
Yeah.
I wouldn't
and
I
she
wouldn't
gives it a
approve of
whirl?
that.
Oh, why not?
What if it was like someone's famous, like Brad Pitt made or David Beckham made a mold?
I don't know.
Liam Neeson made it. Which is like,
So your top 3. You think studs, and you think
Liam Neeson's.
Liam Neeson.
It's legendary how big it is. It's just like a trunk of a tree. Like you just stuff it up.
Like a baby holding an apple.
Yeah. It's a boy holding it up. And not an Asian boy.
I'm going to have a Magnum before they melt. I'm a little concerned about these.
Yeah.
What have you guys been doing, Campbell?
Just working my way through Breaking Bad.
No spoilers.
No spoilers,
That's some fan
sorry.
mail.
I know,
To
no,
my
I got
face
contact.
about spoilers.
I didn't get into my face. Ooh. Sorry about that. Yeah, no spoilers. It's really good. I'm enjoying it a lot. And then I remembered, I'm doing some research at work, and I remembered that show Carnival, or Carnival.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember that? That was an HBO
Yeah,
show.
I'm halfway through it. It's one of those shows that I'm watching, but I haven't finished.
And I watched I remember watching the first season of it and loving it, and then for some reason missed the second season. And there were only 2 because it was cancelled. But the showrunner, who was the creator as well, he envisioned 6 seasons, and each 2 seasons would be like a book. So it'd be like 2 seasons that are contained story, and then another 2 seasons, and then another 2. So it'd be like a trilogy almost of 2 seasons.
Classic.
But then it got cut, and he's refusing to like tell anyone what happens.
What a jerk.
Man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Because he's like, oh, maybe something can still happen, and I can still do it somehow.
Guy's dreaming.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
But
doing.
it was
at the
an
moment.
amazing
The
show.
TV series I'm writing, I'm like sort of keeping notes for the book version if it never gets made.
Like BMX Bandits.
Yeah.
So that's sort of all I've been consuming, I think. Tomorrow night I'm going to go see Wade Davis. And
Who's Wade Davis?
We've talked about this in the show.
Everybody asks me that. He's he's like an anthropologist, ethnobotanist,
Oh, okay.
and he's totally awesome. And he's in Perth. And hopefully he might... Oh, wow, I'm on mic now.
Well, how can I get that kind of timbre in my voice?
No, you're born with it, or you're not. Soz.
Fight
And
all
last week we talked about a Paul Jennings short story that I read with a snuff film.
And you found out, let me guess, it's not a Paul Jennings book?
Or it is.
Fucked up comic you read one?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's not a Paul Jennings book. It was by Philip Pullman, who wrote his Dark Materials, I think. Sort of like the atheist/agnostic rebuttal to C.S. Lewis's Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Have you read or watched that?
No, I've seen the film.
I'm actually
which was
super
crap.
curious to... Oh, it's crap, is it?
Yeah, I was really disappointed. And it was like, I think they'd expected, because I think the book's like a trilogy or something, they'd expected to make it a film series, like Lord of the Rings, like Harry Potter, etc. But then it bombed, and so they didn't make any more.
Oh.
So it's just this weird
We
standalone.
got a call.
Really?
A Skype call from Harry?
Oh, wow. Are we getting... Is the band back together? Anyway, so it's by Philip Pullman, who's, like a really well-established author and quite amazing. And it stuck with me. This was from, like, primary school. And then I remembered the other terrifying short story I read, which I think was in the same collection, and it was called The Pear-Shaped Man. And that's, like, freaked me out ever since. I read it when I was quite young. And I looked up who that was by, and that was by George R.R. Martin.
What's he read?
Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So these two guys wrote. These are the 2 horror stories that I remember most from being younger.
Now, comics.
No, they were just
Oh, short stories.
short horror stories. Yeah. So that's what I've been consuming. Rereading a bit of horror.
The one sort of obscure children's trilogy that I would want to make, if I had to make something that wasn't my own IP, would be, and not Jane Austen, would be the Tripod trilogy. Did you guys ever read that?
What's that?
A Tripod trilogy?
No.
The first book was called, like, The White Mountains.
No.
No.
I don't know if the actual book holds up, but the kind of concept is cool. It's sort of set in 200 years in the future, and Earth's been taken over by this alien force that have these giant tripod robots, kind of like
War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds. But instead of killing everyone, they
they enslave everyone with these caps, and they sort of, over the 200 years, it's not really, when you're introduced to the first book, he did, like, after the writer did come back into a prequel to, kind of like the prequels in Star Wars to kind of explain what happened. But the first original trilogy, like, you just jump in like 200 years of the future, and it's like sort of everything's gone back to medieval times, because when you get enslaved, you sort of don't think like creatively. So technology, people don't make advanced technology beyond like, what the Mormons have, basically. Not the Mormons, the Amish. So when you turn like 21 or whatever, or 18, the ceremony is that you get one of these caps put on your head. So when you're a kid, you still get that creative period, and these kids are like, oh, we're going to run away so we don't get capped. And I think the idea is that they're living on the British Isles, and they sort of smuggle away to the mainland Europe and head for the Alps, where legendarily there's some humans living free. And in the first book, they make their way to the Alps, and it's a long journey and stuff like that. Once they get there, they find some people who have been hiding out there who've got like,
spoiler alerts.
Oh, you don't want to know?
Listeners, if you're midway through the Tripod Trilogy, Book 1, and you don't want to know what happens when they reach the Alps, stop listening now.
I'm pretty full now.
So anyway, what happens is, when they, I won't tell you who survives or anything, but when the party, what is left of it, makes it to the Alps, they find this rebel force hiding away who's got like, they've got basically the Royal Air Force's stash of Harriers, jump jets.
I know what a Harrier is. It's from True Lies. It's the one that can go up and down.
So they sort of start coming up in the next two books. They sort of start coming up with schemes to sort of Star Wars-esque.
How they managed to maintain Harrier jump jets for 200 years?
Still cars going from 200 years ago, from steam locomotive.
It's like they have to learn how to use them. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't think they have them there in the second book, but they don't know how to use them, fly them until the third book. So they do other stuff in the second book.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it a bit like in...
But it's kind of like Star Wars-esque, right? The thing was written for...
Where Anakin hops in the Naboo fighter, and he's like, oh, R2, oops! And he destroys the... Because I reckon if you threw me in a Harrier jump jet, that's probably what would happen. Like, I'd be zooming around. Fluking.
How hard can it be? Just a button that says up.
Yeah. Up, left, right, bombs, machine gun, you got infinite ammo. Fly over a crate to pick up some more bombs. Right?
Yeah. It's like how if you're walking along and you see a box, you just punch it, and you might get a health pack.
Splinters open.
Feel
Explodes open. Well, okay. Fred, what have you been consuming?
What have I
Apart
been
from that
consuming?
Magnum and
I
the
ate
mango.
a Magnum, and then before that I ate a mango.
And you're still going with your beer, I think.
I finished the beer. That was pretty
finished
quick.
the beer.
What have I been consuming? Getting back into some old offices.
Offices? Like the Microsoft Office
No.
suite?
Yeah, I thought I'd go back to like Office
95.
2000. I think it's where it was the best. So just writing some Word docs.
Kicking it old school. Sometimes
Yeah.
I do that too. Lay out some old Excel sheets.
Just add some numbers up, old school.
Yeah.
It's like how people like 16-bit games. So just, just the
Prefer-
nostalgia.
Yeah, 32-bit processing.
No, the Office TV show Office.
So you mean the British one?
No, the American one.
Oh, but old American.
Older series. And that's about it. I've been very busy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bit of Office. Have you mined that old hard drive anymore? The one where you saw Kenny and Benny or whatever?
Kenny vs. Spenny.
Anything else good in
couldn't
there?
get back into it. The magic's gone. I used to love that show, but no, I think I'm too... I wouldn't want to say I'm too mature for it, but maybe I'm just not.
Maybe you're just not stoned. Maybe you're watching it stoned.
I never watched them stoned.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, I think it's it's one of those things that it's good the first time you see it, but you can't rewatch it because a lot of it's just like the shock value. That doesn't work the second time through.
No.
So once
Yeah.
you've seen it, I think they kind of
Limited value in rewatching.
Yeah, I tried to watch some old Harvey Birdman,
Oh, yeah.
Attorney at Law, which is where they get the old Barbara
Barbara.
characters in sort of
Paralegal situation.
paralegal sort of satirical situation.
Paralegal? Legal?
I don't know. It's a
Anyway.
legal situation, and that's pretty good. But again, I've seen them so many times that it wasn't the treasure trove of old TV shows I thought it would be.
It's a bit like that, having things on, accessible at any time.
Is there any TV series you've watched more than once? Like, and not 15 years apart?
I watched Arrested Development and It's Always Sunny a few times, and 30 Rock a few times.
Are you
Like,
a big
not in-
30 Rock fan?
Yeah. Not in chronological order. Normally I just be like, oh, I'm bored, I don't want to watch a good TV show, so I just pick a random season of one of them and sort
That's a
of watch it.
supercut idea. There's only one funny joke in each episode of 30 Rock. If they just cut all the funny ones out.
They just get one episode.
Yeah.
Or what?
But it'd be so funny. It
Or
would
do
just
you
be
You should
like,
have an episode where you cut all Tracy Jordan jokes together, all Jack Donaghy jokes together. Get rid of his name. And
Or would you
everything.
do a supercut of the show where you go through and you take out the funny joke from each show, but you leave the rest? So you'd just totally kill the show, but subtly you wouldn't even notice.
Yeah, but
It
the
just-
thing this is true. I wonder if it'll work though. I haven't really thought about whether these insanely funny moments are completely context, because they're usually
Contextual.
not. They sort of seem to just be random.
You're talking about like a one-liner type situation.
Yeah,
Just
they just
some
have this one
comments on-
funny thing that's really funny. Like the
Yeah.
funniest one ever was Liz Lemon. She gets something from Craigslist. She tries to get organize something on Craigslist, and someone turns up, and then she freaks out because there's a Craigslist killer. So she starts shouting out, "Oh, I've been murdered! I'm already here! I'm murdering her already!" Or something like that. To pretend like the other serial killer. I just lost it, and I just told it really badly, and Cam was the fan.
Yeah, I can see the humor in that. That's good. So good one, Tina Fey. That was good.
Maybe you should watch the series.
Yeah, I've never
Get the
seen
full
this show.
context. You've never seen it.
I've never seen an episode.
It's pretty good.
It's coming to an end now. I feel like it's jumped the shark,
Nah, I never really jumped the shark.
didn't it?
Tracy Jordan's lost all his pop. I don't know what's with that guy, but it's still good.
Yeah.
Hasn't spiraled down.
I've watched-
I think it's just stay at the same level.
I've watched The Prisoner a couple of times
Oh, yeah.
through. I've watched Lost season 2 twice in relatively short.
I guess I'm rewatching The Office. So what am I talking about?
Yeah, The Office. What else? I don't know. There's some shows. I'll probably do it less and less. But yeah, I know what you mean in terms of 10 years apart. Where you're like, oh, I might revisit that.
Yeah, but that's what happened to me with Kenny vs. Spenny. I was so disappointed.
Yeah, but there's shows and then there's shows.
That's the cool thing about watching stuff when you're drunk and you wake up in the morning and it was really good, but then you've forgotten what it is, so you watch it again in the morning and
It's like a
enjoying
one-night
it
stand,
twice.
is it?
Have you seen the new Red Dwarfs?
No,
They're pretty good. The one bit
People-
you're talking about relates to one of the plots of one of the episodes.
Oh right, yeah.
I was surprised because it was amazing, and then it's been.
Did you watch the
slowly-
previous series?
Yeah, see that was
Some people
crap.
hated that,
Nah,
where they
I
went
hated
back to real Earth,
Yeah,
where they were
nah, that
famous
was
for
crap.
being in Red Dwarf.
So that was lame, and it's been going way downhill before that. But now it's back to just the four of them on a spaceship with just stupid.
It still
plots
works,
and,
does it?
Just the
Did you
they
read the
abuse each
books?
other. And it's just hilarious. I read a couple of the books.
I remember the books being the funniest books I've ever read.
It's the only time I ever laughed out loud from a book was one of those books.
Yeah, that's
What
I
what
lolled.
came first?
The books.
Oh, did it?
Oh, I think it was actually might have been a radio play. You know how Britain everything starts off
everything
as a radio
starts as a
play?
radio. I think I started as a radio.
Mighty
play.
Boosh and
Yeah.
Flight of the Conchords.
And then my parents were like, "Oh, that's a good idea." Birth him.
Or maybe I'm thinking of
Flight of the Conchords was a radio show in Britain.
no. But
before
what's
it.
that other one? The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Maybe that was the radio play.
Oh,
I
that
don't
was
know.
everything though.
I really don't find that funny. I read that book and I was just disappointed.
Yeah, I think it's a bit overhyped. That's the only thing he ever did though.
We did like
It's
four
just
of
that.
them.
Oh, did he?
Well, he did. Yeah, he did 3 or something, and the second one's like a total lame sequel.
He was a
Yeah,
pretty
that's-
big net guy, but he died before it took off. Really, he would have been a big podcaster, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
We lost a great podcaster before the format was born.
Yeah, before his time.
Hey, we're a radio play. Do you think they'll make a sitcom of us?
Oh man, that'd be amazing.
Oh, wow.
Who would play us?
What's the guy that people think? Vince Noir?
Yeah.
That would be you, Campbell.
What's his name?
No,
The
that'd
actor?
be James. He looks just like him.
Yeah. Without the beard.
He could. Yeah, I'm sure he could grow a beard. I'm sure he's gone through puberty
Yeah.
at least once.
I like how I brought the beard back. It's back in fashion.
Yeah, well, I think
If you're talking about moustaches and being back in fashion, I think you may have missed Movember.
No, the beard's come back. Haven't you seen
Beard
it?
has been back for ages.
It's been back for like 6 months
My
now.
dad's been rocking a beard for 40 years. So really,
No, I mean,
you're
like,
homage to him.
hip people having it.
You saying my dad's not him?
Yeah, what do you mean? He had a
No,
replacement.
well,
just
he
like
probably
Oh,
was
okay.
hip back in the 70s, and
Tasmania.
he's just never shaved it off.
1985 in Tasmania.
Have you seen your dad without a beard?
Yeah, he looks like a pedophile.
Cow with smell.
wicked.
Not that he's a pedophile, of course. He just looks like one. Some people look better with beards. He's one of those people. James, I'm not sure about you.
I reckon you'd look better without your beard, James.
I did when I shaved it off.
You're getting all the ladies, but you got to get down to work.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
get thin and grow a beard.
No, but I shaved it off for a job interview. I think early this year, and I had like facial disassociation. I didn't recognise myself again.
FDS.
Yeah.
FDS.
Maybe you should dye it a different colour.
Green, pink,
Make it
minstrel
match your
red.
hair, match your hair, match your beard.
Do you still use
Do you
that?
dye your hair?
Yeah, he uses that country man or whatever. Remember we saw that? Yeah, he does. Don't you remember we saw the box? And he's like, yeah, that's
well, I
what
haven't.
always
It's a
get.
bit out of whack because I haven't used it recently. But I'm gonna. I have to go buy some blonding stuff to go in.
Blonding stuff.
Yeah.
But you have a red beard. For the listeners, James has like got a full-on Ranger beard.
Yeah, but the blonding stuff makes your hair a bit redder as well.
Are you going to blondie your beard? So you got a blonde beard?
What are you going to do with the beard?
You just got to make it match. Doesn't matter what colour
Well, I
the
can
beard.
do whatever I want now. I don't need.
Oh,
Don't have to worry about.
Now you've sworn off women for what? The rest of the summer? or
Yeah,
something?
I mean, if a woman wants to marry me, she can say what I do with my facial hair. But till then, I think Harry's online. Is he? Hello.
What
Yeah.
colour's your beard, Fred?
Yeah. What's yours?
You know, I just go on about beards because I'm jealous. Cause
Do you look like a pedophile like your dad?
Because I can't grow them. I don't think so.
I don't think I've ever seen Fred with a beard.
Oh,
I can't grow a beard. It's my sad
you know
shame.
what? I don't think I've ever seen you with a
People
beard.
were trying
Ronnie.
to do Movember, and I was like, I don't think I can do that.
Ooh,
That'd be the. That'd be
My
the.
hair's long enough now I can tie it around my face to make a beard,
Sweet.
which is more than Fred can do.
Man, El Scorcho all the way from Scotland.
Phone me up to burn me. You guys gotta like hang up now.
if anyone's
was
listening,
awesome.
this is I think Bryony speaking and Harry
Yeah, I'm pretty
in
definite.
Scotland.
Welcome.
Do you know that the biggest consumers of podcasts per capita in the world is Scotland?
Really?
You should be out.
Right.
We should send you out some business certificates to hand out to people in
Business
Scotland.
certificates.
Because it's so depressing here. It's so sort of
You're
grey. You're just trotting
yeah.
around. You need something to escape the...
I've got to
Great.
say, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts while I've been...
It's probably you. You're probably solely responsible for this spike in
Maybe
podcast
that's it.
downloads.
What podcast do you listen? What podcast do you listen to?
Um,
I was just going to say the Zoe and Pia show.
It's defunct now.
Defunct.
Do you just
Zoe.
keep listening to the same one episode?
They've had a huge falling out, Zoe and Pierre.
No, they haven't.
Oh, why is the podcast going?
Well, we can. Until they come back, we can make up. What
Have you been listening to that show that's been described as the monkey cage on acid?
Yeah,
Because
the Infinite Monkey.
the infinite monkey cage on acid.
I have been listening to the Infinite Monkey Cage not on acid.
Oh, and it's a bit dull
It's not as
compared
good.
to the acid version, right?
Yeah, it's not as good.
Acid fresh.
Acid free.
Sharp like acid.
What sort of acid would you describe this as? Hydrochloric, sulfuric, Citric,
Nitric.
nitric,
Yep.
acid wash genes. Maybe, perhaps. I don't know.
They had everyone's saying that jumped the shark because they had Patrick Stewart on to talk about space. And
And he's
he's anti-space travel. He's like, we should fix the problems down here.
and he only pretended to be a space traveller. Mind
Yeah.
you, so did Carl Sagan.
Yeah. It's funny when they get... and ironically, the other science podcast, Neil deGrasse Tyson's Star Talk,
We're
had
not even going to talk about Neil deGrasse.
Data and the guy with the glasses who's got that...
Go on, say it. Say it. Say it.
No, he's got the other show. There's the
Say
Read
it.
to Me show.
Guy with the glass.
Geordie LaFord.
Oh,
Is
very
it?
nice. Jody Lafont.
He had them on the show at a convention to talk about
Jody
stuff.
Lafont.
It's a bit weird getting actors on to talk about
C'est la
science topics.
vie, Jody
And
Lafont,
Patrick Stewart was like, why am I even here?
Did he do a whole extra sort of just
Yeah,
rambling
yeah.
about seeing women naked?
That was funny. He was just like, you know what? I'm not even that big on space travel, really. Yeah.
Oh,
You could
a
pretend.
man with no imagination.
He had a good point. It was better than what I said. He said.
I doubt it. You probably
Do you take public
paraphrased it.
transport in Scotland?
We do mostly walking places.
Okay.
Scotland's pretty small.
And catching some trains.
Do people
Like,
are listening to
across England
podcasts on the
and Scotland.
trains?
Just for listeners in Perth, Scotland is about the size of Rottnest. Is it?
Yeah.
Like you can cycle around it.
You could probably cycle around it in a day.
Well, you could. There's some pretty big hills in the middle, so it might take a bit longer.
You actually could cycle around Scotland in a day?
Maybe from one side to the other.
No. Oh, Bryony says
No.
because they've
You
got,
could you can drive it from one side to the other in a
But
day.
is it like a
Whoa.
skinny part like Rottnest? Like you can cheat
well, I mean,
by...
Rottnest has a train.
Yeah.
Rottnest has bicycle. You know, it's point of reference.
No,
It's pretty
we're
simple.
going to the Isle of Skye for Christmas, and I think Skye is probably like Rottnest.
Oh, okay.
You should go to Isle of Man and do the TT time trial, whatever it is.
Why? What's your problem with the Isle of Skye, Fred?
That was James.
Now Fred's looking disgruntled as well.
problem with the Isle of Skye.
He was doing thumbs down to Isle of
No,
Skye.
it wasn't.
You two are going to start some conflict with the Isle of Skye, and I don't want to get involved.
Have you guys been watching the war in Israel?
What, the live tweets from
From
the
us.
Gaza Strip?
Yeah.
No.
First war on Twitter.
It's not the first war on Twitter, is it?
Well, because all the other wars, they've just shut off the internet so no one can tweet out.
Oh.
Rather than Israel's just like, yeah, let's Instagram this, man.
They are. It's like a party over there.
But there's some cool YouTube videos of like this Iron Dome security system that they've got over Israel, where they're just shooting down other missiles that have been fired in. I didn't even realise that Palestine had missiles.
Yeah.
That's what the whole thing's about. They keep shooting rockets into Israel.
Okay.
And Israel's just like, hey, we're just trying to be peaceful here. This is totally unjust. Don't you remember we were persecuted by the Nazis?
And then they
The
go and build like
community's
3,000 houses when they shouldn't have, and everyone gets pissed off.
Yeah, look, they should just say, everyone out. If you can't play nicely, I'm going to stop the car and turn it around now. You know, it's just...
But do you think, how weird would that be living in a city and just like things exploding over your heads that's just defending you, and they're trying to get everyone to just live their
like,
normal
It'd
lives?
be like a mission control or whatever, isn't it? What's that?
Would you just go hang out in the streets and just pretend,
What are you
try and
supposed to
show a
do?
strong face and pretend like it's not
I
dangerous?
don't know. What do
It's just like lightning in the sky and you happen to get...
No, 'cause
Hit.
sometimes they do land on the ground.
Yeah, I know.
It's-
So that's like
scary.
walking around in a lightning storm
yeah.
going, oh, we might get hit by lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a landline episode on people that lived in the Woomera test range in South Australia, like the farmers. And basically they have government-supplied bunkers. And if the government says go in your bunker between like 1 and 2 on this day, you have to do it. Because a rocket might land on your ass.
Nice. Harry and Bryony, are you still there?
Yeah, we're still here.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't sure.
We just had some technical difficulties earlier.
Harry was setting up this fancy microphone setup James sent over.
I know. I can't believe you got your own mic.
Am I going to get my own mic?
Oh, are you getting your own
you
mic?
can buy your own.
Yeah. Fred's on a big ass wage. You know he's on 6 figures over there.
Harry's doing it tough. He's doing the great novel of PhDs.
Yeah.
I already did the great novel of bitch.
Exactly.
Yeah, now you're rolling in
Fine.
it.
If you were doing a
Bye.
podcast back then, I would have bought you one.
Prepare for the lowest.
Now you got a
fidelity
job,
mic money
but
can
I'll
buy.
send you. No, it's like $200. Start saving, Fred. And you should get one of those arm things.
Yeah, you should. And get a light that goes on when we're live.
Oh, I still got to make that.
Fred, if you need $200,
Yeah, where's that, Fred?
just set up a webcam and eat a mango for a little while. I reckon you can make it pretty quick. At least James Mack could chip in.
You could do an audio podcast version of your great sandwiches of Colorado,
Oh,
maybe I will.
and just have you eating it, and people can just listen to the sound of you.
Yeah, and the
There'd
title...
be some pretty good sandwiches in Colorado.
I
No,
reckon.
I'm going to find the best hamburger.
Do you
in
know
Colorado.
what they call sandwiches in New South Wales?
Sambos.
Sangers?
Sangers, yeah.
Why? Where's the G?
Sanders.
There's some gross sandwich I saw in the States that they make where it's like 2 patties instead of bread, and then they've got cheese and maple syrup.
Oh.
No, and they also make one where it's like a donut cut in half with the meat
Yeah.
patty inside the donuts.
Yeah.
Oh.
I did that. I did bacon sandwich with a donut instead of bacon.
Shut up. Did you?
They have bacon and
good.
waffle and maple syrup as like a regular part of it.
I had bacon and pancakes and maple syrup for breakfast 2 days ago.
Isn't it like the dish, the national dish?
Are you
of
just
Canadian.
preparing, Fred?
Yep. I'm going to
Priming
carbo
your
load
gut.
before I go, so that I can extreme carbo load when I'm there.
Isn't there the national dish of the African Americans, like fried chicken, maple syrup, and bacon or something, and pancakes all in one? You get it in like it's like their equivalent of the Hawaiian pack.
I did watch, as preparation, I watched the Man vs. Food Boulder, Colorado special.
Oh right, what do they have?
So he had it's like a pancake with bacon in it, with like
Oh.
a few poached eggs in maple syrup.
Oh,
And this other one was
why?
where you eat a
Nice.
bucket of hot wings, like a bucket, like a bucket of chicken wings.
and you do that, and you never.
You
speak
do
of
that,
it.
and you get it free.
I'm having a second Magnum, by the way. This is all making me too hungry. I can't resist.
Hey, while I have you guys here, and before I go and let Harry do this manly podcast by himself, do you have any good ideas of things I should get Harry for Christmas?
This podcast is not manly, Jim Crane.
Grr, this is so manly. Scrotums, testicles.
Look, we're out here in a storm. It's pretty manly.
It is. And we're eating Magnums. And gossiping.
Nice.
What should we get Harry? He could start him with a mineral collection, like different rocks. Starter pack. Some crystals, geodes.
Guys, this isn't like...
Thunder rocks.
It's not going to be a surprise.
Oh.
Well,
Well,
I
shut your
hear
ears.
that-
I'm talking to Bryony.
I hear that classical music helps you concentrate, so you get him some classical music albums that he can just play on loop while he's writing.
Foot shoes. Toe
That's
shoes.
a pretty good idea.
Toe shoes.
Toe shoes. Guy at work has toe shoes.
Yeah.
And then I went over to his
Toe
house on the
shoes.
weekend, and he had his formal
I can see
toe shoes
Harry
on.
wearing toe shoes. He wears toe socks sometimes.
Wait,
Get him
formal
toe
toe
shoes.
shoes?
Formula toe shoes. They had laces,
With what? Wow.
and they were red and white.
Enema kit. Oh, a cock mold kit. Like a do-it-yourself at home cock mold.
All right, well, these are good ideas, guys. If
Bryony's
you think of
forgotten
any
how
more, you
useful
can
we are.
send them to me, but I'll let you keep going.
Oh, Bryony, Liz and I are down for the thing you messaged me about. I don't know if that's secret or not.
Oh, yeah, it's secret.
Okay, well, we're down.
We'll chat. We'll chat about this later.
Hey.
Anyway, on with the
that's-
manly show.
Oh, it's just a
Yay.
three-way when
No
Bryony
secrets on
gets
the
back.
podcast.
Don't worry.
With Harry or with Liz?
It's with you and James. It's nothing to do with me.
What?
It's Harry's birthday present.
Sorry.
Oh, right.
Sorry, Harry.
That's the
we're
man's
very
wife
rude.
you're talking about.
I know. That's so inappropriate. It's so not fanging around
That's very
material.
rude, guys.
Are you crying, Harry?
A little bit.
Oh, get closer to the mic. I want to hear the tears.
Eat that mic for breakfast.
Is that what you tell the ladies that come on the show?
We don't get any ladies on the
Yeah,
show.
well,
Is that why Betty and the Beast has such a high turnover?
bitch, eat that one.
I've listened to my listenership's going down because we've got too many guys on the station.
It's a sausage fest, man. I tell you.
Yeah.
The Zoe and Pia show was the best thing that ever happened.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Look, I've got in January, one of my co-workers is jumping on the mic, and she's going to be amazing. I'm not even kidding. And she's got a twin sister. Those two should do a show together because they're so funny.
Do they like being called twins? Or they feel like it's a fad? And it's like,
They've been doing it for like
they're gonna grow
25
out of
years.
it.
yeah, wouldn't you get sick of being, everyone has to associate me with my twin sister who's got the same genetics as me. Are they identical twins?
Yeah.
They dress the same?
No? Oh, do you mean identical? No.
Same style? Like one of them didn't go goth and the other one's like a raver?
One's got like blonde hair and one's got black hair.
Yeah. Like, died?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not natural, but they're twins.
Yeah.
Really? Cam was eating a Magnum.
Sorry, I'm eating.
Have you guys, speaking
Harry,
of
what have you been consuming? What have you been
eradicating
up
the
to?
Jews,
No. No, whoa.
I like Campbell's one better.
do you know what
Whoa.
the Nazis wanted to do originally with the Jews?
I think I know this one. Send them to Madagascar.
Yeah.
No lies. They wanted to give them hugs and lollipops.
Really? And they're like, flip the
Yeah.
coin, like, no, we're going to gas you all.
Yeah, it was one or the other.
Yo, that was called the Madagascar Plan. And apparently it was people have been daydreaming about this. Paul de la Garde, an anti-Semitic Orientalist scholar, apparently first suggested the idea in 1885.
Orientalist.
He sounds like doubly racist.
Yeah.
So, and then the British just shipped him off to Israel, is that right?
That's where they wanted to go.
They wanted
They
to
wanted to
Israel.
go there. Okay.
Yeah.
They totally scored with
I'll see, I
Israel.
don't know.
It was Palestinians who got a raw deal there. But, that's interesting. But do you know what's even more interesting, perhaps? The kind of resettlement of the Jewish population at one point was proposed to be Perth.
Oh,
Who
really?
proposed that?
And there was this Zionist dude who was like, yeah, Perth, this is it.
Most
This is the
remote.
place.
When? Is this like in the 60s or in the 1860s?
It was before Israel.
Why not? From everything I've heard, it's better than Israel. It's true. I had a friend who went to Israel and he's like, it's just a desert.
Did it used to be a desert, or has it just become a desert because of?
I don't know. And
Human
a long time
interaction.
ago, it wasn't desert because that's the sort of cradle of humanity.
Hmm.
And I think it was very, very lush.
Hmm.
But I don't know whether we're talking, 50,000 years ago it was very lush or 2,000 years ago. I can't imagine it's changed a lot in 2,000 years.
No, I think it's been desertous for a long time.
But at one point, it was supposed to be very, very fertile.
Harry, what have you been consuming? You missed the intro. That's our opening gambit. What have you been up to? You fill us in. We haven't spoken to you for a couple of weeks.
It's true. I've been just not doing very much writing.
What's the page count?
It's been
What is it? Not doing very much writing, or not doing very much
Comma.
writing?
writing, but now that you mention it, the word count has not increased as dramatically as I'd like it to.
But it's not about quantity; it's about quality, isn't it, Harry?
That's true. Well, the quality is increasing.
Yay! So for listeners back at home, Harry is in Scotland, tucked away in the freezing bosom of Mother Great Britain, Edinburgh. And
It is actually getting freezing now. It snowed yesterday.
Oh, sweet. And he
Pretty
is,
exciting.
you're in this tiny little womb-like apartment gestating a PhD.
Yep.
And it's on Truffles.
Do you have a title?
I'll work the title out when it's at the
It's
end.
pretty important because they rate it out of your graduation.
Can you
Yeah,
have
so I gotta
something?
make it sound pretty impressive.
Can
Did
you
you
have
have an
something
embarrassing
that's funny?
title? You didn't realize.
There was one title at my graduation which was about, I think it was scrotum size of boys or something.
And that's what we just called
Oh,
it.
was that-
Screwed
No,
us
I
over
can't remember
boys.
what the title was, but the whole crowd just
Was
like,
that by your dad?
the whole fuck you.
when he didn't have his beard?
He looks like a pedophile to these.
Oh, just because you do a
I like how you had to
PhD on the
defend him on
scrotum
that.
size of boys doesn't mean you're a pedophile. Are you able to have? Oh,
Conversation.
Harry, are you able to come up with something funny that is only like perceivable once you verbalize it and read it out loud? Like with horse races, you know? Some horses have funny names.
Something about fun guy and fungi and stuff.
Yeah, that's an oldie but a goodie.
Or like something about truffle. It's a truffle.
It's a trifle.
How does that
It's a
work?
truffle kind of like thing.
My question was quite a trifle. Is this a truffle?
A trifling
A
truffle
trifling
question
truffle question.
from a fun guy.
That's the one for a fun guy.
Trifling-
Done. Lock it in.
Trifling truffle trivia.
Yeah. By
From something
H fun guy.
by a fun guy.
Oh,
By a fun.
and you should say Harry T. Eslick.
Why? Apart from that being my name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You should make sure you get
I
appropriate
don't know.
credit for this.
It's got to be
How
a
you gonna-
fun guy. You're going to have to change your name.
How long does it take to get it?
No, because you'll be Mr. Trouble, because everyone will be like, oh, the guy with the T in it.
Harry Truffle Eslick.
Yeah.
Put the T in inverted commas.
People keep them guessing.
Yeah, instead of people just Harry T. Eslick.
People can just call me Mr. T.
Oh.
What's the T for? Truffles. Bitches. I mean, this is all good stuff, Harry. Make sure you.
I think you should take some of this on board.
Well, I'm taking notes. Don't worry. I will think about how I can incorporate this.
Going
There's got
back,
to be some
going back to
Sorry?
Carnivale was about the Dust Bowl in America, and that was where they just totally stuffed up the ecosystem so much, and that turned into a Dust Bowl. That might have what happened in Israel. Similar thing.
No, I think it was natural climate change.
The Dust Bowl.
No,
No,
Israel.
Oh, Israel.
It wasn't
Okay.
Israel, it's a desert.
Okay.
I think so.
So
Harry, do you know much about Israel?
all
Not
that
really,
all
but
that
it's in
region.
the middle of the Middle East, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's kind of mostly desert around there.
But it wasn't always desert. It used to be very fertile.
Oh, it's
Oh yeah,
temperature.
back in like
Back in
the day.
dawn of humanity days.
Everything was different back then, though. You could walk from PNG to here.
Did you?
I mean, you
think-
couldn't. You're not very fit, but
No.
one could.
I could have.
Yeah, maybe.
I could have, man. I'm super fit now.
Are you fit now, or are you not fit now? I can't remember.
I am fit now.
Okay, but you don't want the ladies anywhere near you.
Yeah, the fitter I get, the more repulse they get.
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah,
I
Harry,
wanna look
can you
into that.
weigh in from Scotland? James, I don't know if you listened to the previous couple of episodes, but James pushed this hypothesis forward, or he's working on this unproven hypothesis that the more rotund he gets, the more attractive he is to women, and the more svelte he gets.
No, I didn't think it was. I thought it was a disappointment thing.
Yeah, it's being
Yeah, I
in the
thought it
middle.
was. Well, I heard the beginning episode, which was that in the middle ground, women were disappointed
Yeah.
with the. They thought there was something more than there actually was, and so you either have to go to the extremes. You have to go,
Oh,
super svelte or super rotund.
see, I've totally misunderstood this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't want to give a false impression. So you've
Oh,
got
okay.
to be a big
Exactly.
guy or a
So
skinny
people
guy.
just instantly
Oh.
judge you as being fat, so they go, oh, that's okay. So it's not like, they go, it's not you for being skinny, and then later on they're disappointed, like, oh, I thought he was skinny.
Right.
But James, aren't you getting like super svelte? So the ladies will like.
And then you can
Love
start
it
wearing
again.
super
Oh,
tight
well,
clothes.
we'll see how the diet goes, but I think I'll hit a
An equilibrium.
equilibrium where I will just stop losing weight. And then I either have to
Oh,
get...
James, so you're setting yourself up for failure there, James.
Yeah, it sounds.
Oh, I'm not gonna
Where's
try
the
to.
positive
But I'm
attitude?
not... The thing is, I'm not ever going to become a gym junkie, so...
Why not?
Because
Never say never. What about your
I
brother?
don't have time.
That's what your
But
brother
that's
used to
his
say.
whole life, and I don't...
He's got a full-time job as well.
Yeah.
But if you just do like chin-ups and like sit-ups in the morning every day,
He has, he goes to the gym, plays video games, goes to work, and then the weekend he parties.
Sounds pretty good.
But I don't know that...
That sounds alright, yeah, I'm with Campbell.
I kind of like this.
Why don't you do it? Why don't you
Yeah.
give up on your graphic novel and spend all that time at the gym camp and get buff?
How do you know I don't work out while I'm doing my graphic novel? I'm on the treadmill.
It's
I'm
hard
on
to
the
do sit-ups
bike.
and draw novels at the same time.
Well, I've been practicing.
Yeah.
That's
okay,
why it's taken me
fair
so
enough.
long to do this.
Yeah,
damn
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Harry, how are you? Are you hella buff, or are you chunking out, or you're a bit you're a bit looking
Pretty
a bit,
much the same as always.
Can we go video and just check out Harry?
Can you?
We don't have enough bandwidth.
Can you rock
We
your
don't have the
six pack?
NBN.
Can I rock a six-pack? No,
I mean,
I'm afraid not.
like if we get a cam show going.
What's with the cam show? Gamal needs some extra bucks, obviously. He's trying to pimp us all onto cam.
I'm just looking at ways to monetize this podcast.
Cam show.
It's
So,
one
yeah.
option,
From all of our two
Fred.
viewers.
And what I want to do with you is
What's your vision?
when you go to Colorado. I love the idea of James telling you to micro podcast the sandwiches, but what you have to do is micro podcast the sandwiches. All it is the title, BLT from the corner of 9th and Avison,
Yeah.
and then podcast starts. You say, "What is this sound?"
Harry's getting busted or something.
Harry, is that your? Is those lorries in your ghetto?
It's
Fred?
taking him away.
It's muted, probably.
Oh,
So
okay.
the podcast, so your micro podcast,
Yeah.
people go to it. The title is just, BLT from the corner of 9th and Avison. Podcast starts. Fred goes, "This is you." Yeah, BLT from the corner of 9th and Avison. And it's just you recording until you finished eating it, and then that's it.
Okay.
That's the whole micro podcast. Just the sound of you
Sound of
eating.
eating sandwiches.
No review, no words, no
What if I
love.
made like a
Yeah.
okay.
If you need to, like,
Do you provide a picture?
Yep. But like,
I like the
my
sound that
mouth.
it's just audio. It's just you're just documenting
maybe a little
the sounds.
clink of glasses in the burble
Yeah.
conversation in the background.
But from you, just the mastication. I reckon we could sell those a buck a
Can
pop.
they sell? Can I get a special mic that's like for super close up sound?
What, like this?
I can't get close enough. I want something that almost sticks in my mouth.
I think the Secret Service that have microphones that go in the crowns of your teeth.
Oh yeah.
Get one of those for it.
Have
Can you
guys
please
watched,
make this podcast a reality?
I'll do one especially for you, Cam. Well, you can cut the me eating a mango from the start of this show, and that'll be
That's
the
a
first
promo.
one.
I think Harry said he's seen Skyfall. Did you guys go see it?
I haven't.
I haven't.
I want to.
It was
Is that
pretty
the
good.
X-Men film?
Yeah.
It was out in Scotland way before over here, isn't it?
Yeah.
When's Hobbit coming out?
Boxing Day here.
Harry in Scotland, when's Hobbit?
Oh, it's like the 17th, I think, or the 20th.
17th?
No, 17th. I know. You
I
guys
think
should come.
17th of January, man.
Have they actually
January.
released it in New
December.
Zealand?
Well, they had the premiere like last week or something.
Oh, have they released it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's Boxing Day. Most places. I think America is the 14th of January. Or something.
Oh, sucks. Weird. That's harsh.
They're just going to pirate it all.
Yeah. How much revenue are they going to lose from that? Don't they
I
have
don't
a
know
Boxing
why
Day
you would want to
tradition?
get a crappy cam of Lord of the Rings. Anyone who downloads that isn't going to go see the movies anyway. So
That's weird.
like it's this film that's like designed for 48 frames a second and all that kind of stuff.
But what about how many films is The Hobbit going to be? Is it 2 or
Oh
3?
my god!
I heard it was 3. What was that
Sorry.
about, James?
Oh, one of the guys that works going into labour, or his wife is.
Wow, that would have been amazing if it was him.
It's coming out on the 13th over here.
Schwarzenegger, where he has a baby.
I think we literally bring this up every third podcast.
Yeah.
And yes.
I think it's called Junior.
Now, Harry, in Skyfall, like there's some scenes in Scotland at the end,
Yeah.
and everything's like really barren. Is that like a desert, or have they just chopped all the trees down?
No, that's just how it is. 'cause
I think
it
they're
gets
called
so
moors,
cold
aren't they, or something?
and windy.
That's
The
racist.
moors, it's kind of like moors. We went up to the moors the other day. It was pretty awesome.
Your Scottish accent's getting real thick, Harry.
You're just skyping out, Harry.
Sorry, guys.
Are you recording on your end?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, cool.
So why you can record a question that nobody could hear, and then
No, well, at least when we put it back in,
but that'll make even less sense because it'll be like this perfectly asked question, and we all sit around like idiots.
Okay, so for future reference, if anyone's downloaded this show, Harry's broken up.
But I'm still here.
What do you guys think about Nibiru?
What's Nibiru? Nibiru?
The Buru, the planet, is coming to hit us. Yeah.
Nah.
No?
Didn't your BFF Brian Cox say it wasn't real?
Yeah, but he didn't retweet me back when I tweeted him, so
Were you-
I'm a bit cold on him now.
Were you cyberbullying him? Trolling him?
I just asked him for a free cam show. And he wouldn't give it up. He wouldn't even talk to me. I sent him about like 60 or 70 tweets, and he just didn't even respond to one of them. I think Nigella's blocked me on Twitter.
Nigella? She's blocking your Twitter.
I think she's blocked me on Twitter.
What do you tweet Nigella?
Just stuff.
Just
Just like, hey, how's it going?
Come over to my house.
I'm just like, hey, I'm eating a muesli bar. Just about to hop in the shower. Setting up that cam show for you.
People would watch a Nigella cam show.
People do.
Do they?
Yeah, it's a TV show.
Oh,
It's even higher production value.
wow.
I hate that show. James, what have you discovered?
My new hottie of the...
Is that what you
Decade.
were doing while we were talking? You just looking up girls on the internet?
It's research.
Let's see, James.
have you guys seen Everyday Gourmet with Justine Schofield on Channel 10?
No.
Isn't that like totally... it's almost like Huey's cooking
It is,
level of
it is.
production value?
Yeah, rubbish production value, but the hottest woman alive presenting it. Justine Schofield, man. Amazing.
Let's see her. I don't want to use up too much bandwidth, so just give me a photo. And it's got that guy with the really weird accent. What do you guys...
Apparently she was on MasterChef. Now I have to go download that season of MasterChef she was on, because now I'm the biggest
In case
fan.
there's
I've never
some-
seen MasterChef.
She leans
before.
over to pick something out of the oven. You can just pause and loop it. Did you guys? What do you guys think of Huey?
He's an
still on
institution.
TV, and
Is
his
he?
face is getting redder, and he's getting more obese. So,
I thought he was on Weight Watchers or something.
oh no, it's not working. Whatever it is,
It's all pretty, like, average, isn't it?
so average. Yeah, and he kind of like. I like shows when they kind of stuff things up and they're a bit sort of loose with it, because that's how it is you're cooking. But he kind of just stuffs it up like an idiot. So, I used to like Huey, but I'm kind of down on
Well,
him.
what do you think about Peter Cundrell? Is it?
Peter Cundrell's retired, man.
Oh no, not Peter Cundrell. The guy from Ready Steady Go.
That's it. Oh, I forgot about your Costa Celebrity.
We haven't been following.
I
it.
forgot what his name
Peter,
is.
what's his name? Oh,
What's he called?
James, I'm looking at you.
Oh, I can't remember.
Peter Hewitt.
Garrett? Peter Garrett?
Not Peter Garrett.
No, he's got the same name as someone else. Isn't he a brother or...
Peter something.
Peter Gabriel. Peter Piper.
I think he's just gone. He's just off air.
Peter Everett.
Peter Everett.
That was amazing.
That was so terrible. And I hated
Oh,
that
he's
show.
spoken out about why he was sacked from Ready Steady
Wasn't this
Cook.
some controversy we had a long time ago that we never got to
I
the
think it was
bottom
one of our first episodes.
Yeah, so Ready Steady Cook was a fantastic show.
Did you ever
Harry's
watch
a-
the English one with Ainsley?
No.
Well, it's basically...
Oh yeah, no, I did watch the English one when it showed in Australia. Yeah,
Yeah.
Is there a Scottish version?
he was actually kind of good, whereas the Australian version is a bit.
Yeah, it's because Peter Everett's got no charisma, which is like...
Oh no, I'm going to refute that. Peter Everett made that show. Now they've got that fool from Leno and Woodley.
He's better than bloody Peter
Leno and
Everett.
Woodley. You can't touch Leno and Woodley.
Yeah,
he's
if you're Peter Everett, you
He's an
can.
Australian
Moonwalk
icon.
all
Peter
over it.
Everett's got nothing on Leno and Woodley.
Nah,
What's else Peter... What's Peter
I've got
Everett
a sticker
from?
on the back of my car, and it's a picture of Peter Everett pissing on Leno and Woodley. Because I
never
drove
made-
Everett.
Do you?
No.
Oh.
Isn't Everett a thing that you can drive?
No, you drive a Renault. It might have a Renault Everett.
I might just rebadge it. Renault Everett. In protest, I'm going to drive it around in protest until they reinstate Peter Everett in his natural habitat.
Just to show him
Really
he's still going.
steady.
What was he? He was on like changing rooms or something? No.
Yeah. He was in something like
But
that.
wasn't he an interior decorator? No, he just randomly appears on a cooking show.
But he never cooked. He was just the host.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
He was just like, oh, what have you brought
wasn't
down?
even a good
Ooh.
host.
And then they were like, I brought down, I'm so excited, Peter. Oh, I brought down a tub of Vegemite and a jar of marmalade and a packet of pickles. And he's like, ew, I wonder what the chef's going to make of that.
This is the headline. Peter Everett speaks about why he was sacked from Ready Steady Cook. Sub-headline, Peter Everett still doesn't know why he was sacked from Men's Afternoon Show Ready Steady Cook.
That is the worst news article
That's
ever.
the classic. It's called New Scientist, Nine New Science thing.
Where they announce
you have a
finding.
headline. Was Darwin wrong?
No.
And then you buy the magazine and open it up and it says no. In, like, big
No, he was a genius.
Was Einstein wrong? No.
You know, in Melbourne, in the Natural History Museum over there, they've got some of Darwin's like taxidermied, or like some of his sample specimens that he took when he was on the Bugle. And they
On
found
the Beagle?
Beagles. He was working for J.H. Jameson, writing news stories. No, because they were going through doing a big inventory of all their taxidermied and mounted things, and they were checking all the tags, and they were like, "Holy shit!"
I went to the Natural History Museum in London, and all the taxidermy were like, basically, some of them were looking pretty terrible.
Yeah, we got some really bad ones at
And they were sort of little signs of them saying, you know, we know our taxidermy is looking a bit crap, but it's 100 years old, and it's sort of against our policy now to taxidermy things, so this is what you get. I think that's stupid. They should re-taxidermy a couple of tigers or something.
But I think it's interesting I think it's interesting looking at the old taxidermy as well, because those objects are historic objects as well. They're not just a
Yeah, but
record
it
of that
doesn't-
animal,
yeah,
they're a
but
record of that process.
It barely looks like a tiger anymore. It's
We
sort
have a
of
bilby.
faded and-
Yeah, we have this amazing. We've got 2 bilbies that are taxidermied at the West Australian Museum. We've got one that's in the Discovery Centre, and it looks amazing. It is, it's like the new one that's being done, and it looks incredible. It looks like it's about to run off. And then we've got one that must have been done by like the first European that found a bilby and like just stuffed it full of padding, and it looks so awful. And that's up in our old gallery, but it's there like as a reference of how stupid we were. It looks so bad.
Taxidermy thing is one of those things that doesn't sound like it would be that difficult at all.
Man,
But I think it actually would.
I've got so much respect for our taxidermist at work. What
Do
she
you have a
does.
taxidermist there? I was
Yeah.
going to say.
Do you get to watch them do it?
No, not really. Sometimes I poke my head in and I'm like, what's going on?
So it's not against the policy of the WA Museum to do taxidermy.
Hells no. We're like,
What are you
Love a bit of
taxidermy?
taxidermy.
we love a bit of it. Oh, we
What's
got
she
it.
working on now?
I don't know. There's so much stuff in there that's
Like
always
what?
going on. Lots of little things, crabs.
I was going to
and
say, could you
birds, and
taxidermy
lots
a
of birds.
crab?
Crabs are easy because they've got exoskeletons,
just-
so it's just cleaning them.
Just clean it.
But I mean, it's an art, but it's a science as well, because you need to know all of the conservation properties and chemicals and all of those things and how to color fast everything. But then it's also like so much artistry, because there's so much color matching that needs to be done, and then there's all the sewing that needs to be done, and then there's butchery because you need to actually remove.
So would someone
parts of
literally
it.
turn up to this woman with like a dead bilby with its guts hanging out and say, needs to be taxidermied, and she would gut it and dry it and clean it and everything? Does she just get the shell, the skin?
I've never seen her gutting stuff.
Can you find this out
Yeah.
and get back to us?
Yep.
Get back to me.
Next time I'll do a report on.
Taxidermy in the 21st century.
Yeah, I'm.
Oh, can we invite her on the show?
because-
Yeah. I'm fascinated by this. Maybe not. Okay. Oh, God.
Yes, Colin's going off. You're above a nightclub or something.
Get it or something.
I don't get, if it's really cold, wouldn't you have all the windows shut? I don't know how loud it can...
No, this is through the window.
Yeah.
We're on the top story. So
Is it as loud as we hear, or is it just amplified by the microphone?
I don't know how loud it is for you guys. It's pretty loud. It's
Like, does it wake you up at night when a
police cars driving
lorry
past.
goes fast?
Well,
Do
we
you
are
get-
kind of across the road from the police station.
Ah,
so,
okay.
Oh,
But that police car was not going down our street. It was going down the next street.
Oh, wow.
They generally don't turn their lights on when they come out of into the police station or out of the police station.
I've got, if you have a, I've got a breakdown of your exposure to radiation as a human being who you live in a city that has nuclear power plant or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sources of radiation. 40%. 11%. The water you drink.
Yeah.
14% cosmic radiation from the sky, I guess.
Yep.
18% from the buildings and the soil that you walk and live in.
Yep.
Medicine, like getting an X-ray, like once a year, 14%. Biggest source of radiation, what would that be?
Bananas. Cosmic.
Dust.
Gamma.
Or gas.
Radon.
Radon.
Yeah. 42%.
Radon's a gas.
Yeah.
So it just floats around.
Yeah.
So that's why the statistic is...
So what does that leave?
I don't know. What do you mean?
How many percentages?
I don't know. I didn't add them up.
Oh, it's 1% for the nuclear industry.
Apparently, a coal power plant puts out more radiation than a well-maintained nuclear power plant.
Well, coal is a huge source of radiation.
Yeah.
That's until a tsunami comes and like knocks one over.
Yeah, well, that's
There is
assuming
that.
that's the case.
This is from a non-tsunami nuclear power
Yeah.
plant we're talking about, yeah.
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 I think
a
a
normal
well-maintained.
function.
Right. Just getting that clear.
Yeah.
Good.
No, it's important to clear that up.
But isn't that a bit of a worry that you have to get a once-in-a-century tsunami hitting a nuclear power plant before it gets more radioactive than just any old coal plant that's just doing its normal day job?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not a worry, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Shows how
yeah.
safe nuclear is.
Yeah. Any other science topics we want to discuss?
Harry, you got any science over there?
No, I don't really do any much science.
Oh. Oh, okay.
No.
Have you heard any
No, I
science
do lots
news?
of science.
A scientist walks
I don't have
into
any
a bar.
particular science topic.
What does he say?
He says to the bartender, "Can I have a petri dish?" And the guy says, "No, we only use."
A neutron
Beakers.
walks into a bar and asks for a drink. The bartender pours it and he says, "How much?" And he says, "For you, no charge." Heyo.
Oh.
That was a nice one. That's better than mine. I think. Any science news, Fred?
No.
Oh.
All quiet on the science front.
A slow week in science.
No major discoveries have been made.
Fangin. Car news.
Car news.
Fangin
Harry,
that car.
any new car news?
Don't think so.
Or Fangin news?
Same old cars over here.
You and Bryony said that you'd been catching a lot of trains.
We have been doing a lot of
Do they
train
have
travel.
fast trains?
What sort of trains? Are they like Hogwarts Express sort of things?
Nah, they're kind of just boring. Diesel. Oh no, they're electric.
I was going to say.
They're pretty boring anyway. They're not that fast. They're not that comfortable.
Do they have
they're
tartan
not.
upholstered seats?
No. Oh, I think if you go up north on the Scotland trains, they do have tartan.
Oh, nice. How could you not? Do you see a lot
Well,
of
which
tartan?
clan would you make it? You know, you don't want to do the wrong
Oh.
clan. I'm not getting on that train.
Maybe there's carriages for clans.
That's how you'd know.
Well, you'd have your one that you get onto.
Yep.
Well, they probably just made a new like train tartan.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
clan
Because they
Metro
can
Rail.
invent new colour
Because
combinations.
Transperth has the Transperth tartan that they use on
That
all
like
their
splotchy 80s looking pattern thing.
It's kind of that dark. It's like a black with those Art Deco sort of splodges.
Have you guys seen the City of Stirling newish building? I've only just seen it across the freeway from IKEA.
No, I have not seen that.
It is. I thought that whole area was a swamp. Obviously, I haven't been there in 15 years across the freeway. And you know they're building parks and stuff there, and apparently this building's been there quite a while. But I've only noticed it as new. But it's amazing. It's like this brand new building that's like a tribute to the terrible, not this is terrible architecture of Perth's past.
Are you
Like
saying it's really ugly?
I dig it. Like it's kind of like a tribute to like it's the that style of architecture that was like the new building at Perth Mod.
Like
And-
the East Perth train station is what I think of when I think of
No.
super ugly.
Oh yeah, I guess like that.
What kind
But
of building is it? It's a public.
you know the new Perth Mod building
Yeah.
that's
gone
new.
now.
No, it's not.
No,
I
it's
think
not.
Oh. I thought they tore it down.
No. I don't know.
Anyway, they made sort of a tribute to that, yet in a very modern style, and it's got this huge like statue out the front. That's like, Anyway, it's pretty awesome to see. I thought it was cool.
I'll have to look out for it.
I'm just having a look at it now. Oh, it does look just like the old Perth mod building.
Can I have a see of it later?
Yeah.
Fangin news, I watched the Top Gear special to find the world's worst car. That was relatively interesting.
What car was it?
I don't want to ruin it for you.
Oh, just tell me.
What were the contenders?
What were the contenders, and we'll guess.
I can't remember the exact
Was it
ones. I'm just
one
gonna
of
have
those
to,
Russian
I'm just gonna have to
larders?
describe them. No, because they started off saying like they had two really cheap, crappy cars, and they sort of said it's not about overall crappiness. It's about cars made by manufacturers who should know better and charge too much for it. You know.
So was
like
the
worst
Signet?
value
Was the
car.
Signet included?
What's the Signet?
The Aston Martin
the
Signet.
Aston Martin Toyota car.
No.
It's probably because it's totally sweet.
Yeah. No, it came down to between. It was actually
So this was Top Gear, so it was a Ferrari 599.
No, they paid out on a couple of Ferraris, of course, and they did some burnouts in like Mercedes-Benz AMGs and stuff. I think it came down to. It was actually. I think it was like a Peugeot 306
Oh, okay.
and this shitty Lexus convertible from 10 years ago, and like a relatively new Peugeot 306.
You know what
206.
the worst car I've ever driven is the... I don't even know what it's called. It's like this Holden car that's... it's Australia's only mid-sized built car.
Is it the Epica?
Astra.
Holden...
Wait.
Are you being down on Australian-built cars?
I was ashamed to drive this car.
Maybe it was an Australian design though.
Was it a new one? Is it the Holden Cruise?
Yeah, Holden Cruise. That's
yeah.
it. I drove it. Like, literally, you turn the sliders a bit and the wheels hit the wheel wells.
There's no way they
And they're
designed it that
scraping.
bad. I think your car was broken, James.
No,
the worst car I drove
all
didn't even
20 of them that we had at Avis were broken then.
Okay.
The interior was just disgusting.
Oh, wow.
And it attracted every bit of dirt that you could find.
Oh,
It was
like
just
human
cheap,
filth.
really cheap plastic inside. It all creaked.
Yeah.
Every like.
They advertised it had a good, solid car door shutting sound. That was one of their
right.
advertising points. How did it sound when
Well,
you shut the
it
door?
got recently got recalled for catching on fire. I think
all
I'm
good
guessing
cars
it's
do that.
I'm guessing it's the wheels rubbing against the wheel wells. It's just I wasn't, and then I found out it was Australian built, and I was like, oh my god, this is just embarrassing. Because one car I do like that's Australian built is the last generation Monaro they built. Like, there's this guy who must own it up in Malaga that I drive past. It's always parked there, and I saw them test it out on Top Gear, and they loved it as well.
Is that the coupe?
Yeah, the coupe. It's just 2-door coupe, and then the last generation had these big, like, those air vents at the front that like suck in the air. And it's like, yeah, it's the ultimate Fangin. Yeah.
You can pick
I
them
would
up pretty
agree with
cheap
that.
now. I think they're.
If
trash
I
to the
won a lotto, I would
Really?
get it. I would get one.
This
well-
must be pretty good.
Yeah, but you know that someone who's owned a Holden Monaro
Yeah.
would have just given that so much grief over its life.
I don't know about that. What? Just revving it?
It's like the biggest bogan hoon car.
I don't think it is.
What? This is a question that someone's put in. Maybe it's a question of week. What would your must-have features be in the perfect car? Harry?
Minimum 4 wheels.
The perfect car.
Yeah. What is the must-have features to make it a perfect car?
Well, I think something which I really like in a car is like lots of window space with like really small like black bits connecting like the windows together so you can see stuff.
Less
So
blind spots.
The pillars are really.
Yeah, the pillars.
Yeah, the pillars. No pillars. Get rid of pillars. Just have all glass.
Get a convertible.
What about a dome? That goes
No,
over
the dome's no good.
That was one thing about the Jag. It had very narrow pillars. The engine didn't
The
work.
pillars on the Echo are deadly. Like when you're going at like Perth, so those small roundabouts at Perth, is. You can't see the person turning in as you approach a roundabout. It's really dangerous. So every roundabout, I'm scared that I have to go like that around to see, make sure there's no one there.
So tiny pillars.
So visibility.
Tiny pillars. And they make your car sick if you're at the back and you can't see what's going on.
It's true.
And like checking your blind spot and stuff if the pillar's right next to your face. That's bad.
Okay. So tiny pillars.
Tiny pillars.
Big greenhouse. Fred, what are you?
Must-haves, maybe rear-wheel drive.
That's it. That makes a perfect car.
Well, there's like a million things that make the perfect car.
Oh.
Well, I think
I thought we were saying just like a feature, like it's not going to be.
You're just going to roll off a big list
unless it's. No, I'm just suggesting one thing.
Yeah. So I mean, like a minimum, you need aircon, power steering,
Yeah, well, I can go
cruise
through the list,
control,
yeah. Comfortable seats.
central locking.
Yep.
I love my mum's car. You just don't even have to take the keys out of your pants or purse. You just walk up, and as long as the keys are near you,
Yeah, I like being able to keep my keys in my pants at all times. It's awkward taking.
I don't like any of those fancy features. I want wind down windows, and I want like central locking's actually pretty.
Pretty much the Corolla was my perfect car.
Harry, you sound like you're in the market for a Volkswagen Up.
Yeah, that's exactly. I think I am.
That's pretty much my dream
Change
car.
my tune.
I want a 1974 Corolla.
Oh, first love.
Yep.
So what was the key feature about making that?
Just fangability.
Fangability.
Handled.
Oh, bullshit.
It handled. It did
stuck
handle.
to the road.
It was rear-wheel drive. It was light.
Yeah, it probably was
It
really
just
light.
could bounce around the roundabout. You know, it could turn.
What? You didn't have to do
No, it was
steering.
it was in like you could just like
over.
go do like back and forth and you round the roundabout. Just burning
You
around.
should have ripped out the
Foot down. Just
You should have ripped out the
turning.
passenger seat like I recommended to shave some weight.
Yeah,
I thought you did it after a while.
No.
You should have, because then it would have been easier for someone to
You
get
should have just
in.
parked it up in York.
I just would have ended up in the bin. I would have given it to one of you guys if you wanted it.
Are they selling York?
I don't know what
Could
they're
have
doing.
thrown
You
in
could
a
have
free
just
car.
stayed up there until you
Nah,
came back.
because then when they do sell it, they don't want to have to get rid of a Toyota Corolla as well.
No,
Blow it up.
freebie, house and car.
House and car package. Non-functional car. And
Oh, you should see if you can just drive it down to the basement. Make this museum just this car. It's like this feature of the house.
Yeah. You'd just be like, I
they
don't
could
know
have
how that got
refilled
there.
it with
It'd
that
be like-
sand, and then when someone dug it out, instead of just finding like a crappy fireplace, they find a whole car.
Wow.
Did you guys see the thing where they buried like a 1954 Cadillac or something
Yeah,
in the time
as a
capsule?
time capsule,
They
yeah.
Oh.
dug it up and it was just like a rusted lump.
It turned to crap. But that was a raffle as well.
What was it?
Someone was going to win that car. And they got the person who won it. But I think the council or the city or whatever, or Chrysler or whoever it was, is restoring the car now. And they're going to give it to like the grandchild of whoever like
Okay.
entered the competition or something. So it's a pretty cool story.
Oh, they
I'm
dug it up already.
Wait, no,
Yeah.
so it was a raffle for when you put it in. So they have the raffle, you bury it, and 50 years later you get your prize.
No, I think what happened was they made this time capsule. They buried this totally sweet-ass Cadillac in the time capsule, right? They didn't bury it. It was like in a car park or something.
Yeah.
And I think everyone in the town was entered into the raffle sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then when it was dug up like 50 years later or whatever, they pulled out the name and it was like someone who was dead, so they got the descendant.
Ah.
and were
okay.
like, your granddad...
So they put
was
the names
alive.
in the hat.
Well, I don't know. Oh, shit.
And then
I
buried
don't-
the hat with the car.
I don't know. I don't think there's a literal hat.
No, but what's the point of having the raffle? That's the worst idea. Have the raffle for 50 years in the past. Everybody's just gone somewhere
No, in the
else.
future.
So you have to stick around this town just in case you want a car in 50 years'
Oh,
time.
Fred, I don't know. I thought it was really cool, but obviously...
It's full of holes.
Yeah, Lisa Scafidi, don't you think about doing it, because Fred's going to be hella pissed.
Oh, okay, so I'm gonna. Hey, Cam, we're gonna have this raffle for $100, and I'm gonna bury it. And
No,
then,
I don't think you have
in
to-
50 years, you
I
can
don't
get away
think
with
they set it up
$100.
like, oh, you could win a car. I think
No.
they say in the thing, you get to win a car that's going to be in a time capsule for 50 years.
I don't think it was even a raffle. I think it was just like... You were just automatically entered into
Yeah,
it.
it was like a
I don't think you
lotto.
had any choice.
Okay.
And it wasn't like we're burying this thing so that in 50 years someone wins it. It's like we're burying this thing and it's a time capsule, and in 50 years someone gets to have it.
50 years is a bit weak for a time capsule. Because, like, they have 1950s cars. There's heaps of them.
Yeah, but
Should've
none
done
of them
100.
have been really crappily
It's
maintained.
like a rusty piece of shit. Would have been better if you just left it in the barn or something.
Yeah. So features in a car, I like the thing that I'm quite enamored with is the seats in my Renault that can come out, or like just reconfigurable interior so that you can get a lot of load space. That's pretty much my cool feature in a car.
I have similar thoughts, and I'll give away my $1 billion idea just so that in
Someone
5 years'
makes
time, someone will make a car with it so that I can buy it when I might have a chance of buying a car. I just want like a glove compartment or like that central console to be like a useful storage space where you can just put stuff in, like you just go into the shops for a few items, and then like the sides inflate and come in like, I guess, like Reebok pumps and just grab onto whatever's inside so they don't go flying around the car. Because there's
actually a
nowhere to
pretty good
good
idea.
place. If you just go to buy a bottle of something or something, unless it's huge and takes up like a whole segment of the car, it just goes flying around everywhere.
So it's a pretty good idea.
And like
Sucks in. You know, or maybe some other ideas, but does essentially
like an
the same
airbag
idea.
kind of thing, not
Yeah.
quite as violent.
That's just my idea, but there could be other ways to do that same concept.
And then when you open the lid up, it
Yeah.
releases it.
So
That's
the
a
thing,
really
because
clever
everything
idea.
fizzes up with all your bottles and that.
And you know what?
Mm.
Or you're getting takeaway food,
One of my
and they
friends-
fall at the soup from the laksa comes out.
One of my friends took us to the shops on the weekend, and he has a brand new Mazda 3, and in the back there's like little hooks that flick down. So then he got the 2 shopping bags, hooked them over the hooks, done. Nothing moved around.
All right, so they stay in there.
So it's like a hook, yeah. So it's, you know, the classic plastic shopping bag.
but when you're going around the corner, when they go swing out and go.
Yeah, maybe.
Knock
Yeah,
someone
don't
out if
go
you got
so
a can of
violently.
beans.
That's why you need
around the
things to like suck in both sides, so they just stay.
But the thing is, also, if it's like a compartment with a lid that you shut, that action of shutting it could be
The signal.
connected, and it could be a manual pump thing. So you closing
Oh,
it
right,
pumps the air to inflate.
So you have to go sit there.
No, you do it
Like
once.
Reebok pumps.
You do it once. Maybe to be electric assisted. I don't know. Just brainstorming. Why don't
You just
cars
feel- you
in
could just get that,
Australia have
James,
whirlybirds?
And fill it full of those packing peanuts. And then just jam your own thing in there.
oh yeah,
It goes everywhere. You just got to miss.
So you got packing peanuts in your car. Who cares?
they're edible.
Yeah.
But then you pull
Snack.
it. Well, as soon as
Snack
you
on 'em.
pull it out, it's going to be jammed. So next time you put it, you're like, oh, there's
You
no.
just have like a few massive bags of those peanuts and you just throw them around.
the biodegradable ones.
Yeah.
Just throw out the window.
You can eat them and feed them to birds and stuff.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Well, why don't car manufacturers just half fill their cars with packing peanuts?
Yeah.
One of the things that I always remember from Demolition Man, I think it's Demolition Man.
Is it the shells?
When they
How do
cra-
you use them?
No. When they crash and like the whole car fills up instantly with foam.
It's
I
a
always
pretty
thought
good
that was
idea.
a cool idea, but I don't think it would be possible.
Yeah, I liked in was it Final Fantasy Spirits Within, like they can do really intense parachute jumps because they just fire this gel at the ground and you land the gel and go boom 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 and it absorbs the impact. That was kind of cool.
I think in Fangin news I had 2 cars that I hate.
Which were?
Cars I Hate by Campbell.
Do you
White.
guys have any cars that you hate? Like you see them on the
I hate
road
my
and
mum's car.
you feel quite hateful towards
Well,
them.
the Holden. What was it? Holden
Cruise.
Cruise.
I don't really hate any cars. No. There's not a single car I hate.
Wow.
It's probably motorbikes I hate. Because I'm
Oh.
like, that's just a stupid motorbike to buy. Cars are just pretty much the same.
Harry,
Like a
any
stupid
cars you
ute,
hate?
but even a stupid ute. Like a
I hate
V8
most
ute,
cars,
I'd be
like-
like, that's pretty cool.
Oh.
They're all pretty. Unless they're like something cool about them, they're all pretty shit.
No, I'm the
Like
opposite
they're
of
just so unoriginal and so sort of.
Harry. You could draw it like, you
run-of-the-mill
drive like a white
standard, like,
Ford Focus, Harry.
Just
It's
gives
the
me
most
shit.
standard
Like,
car.
it's
saw
so
that.
easy to make something cool,
I
and
saw.
yet none of them do.
The
So
Volkswagen
they
Alp's
hate
pretty
them all.
cool. You should get one of those.
I saw someone driving one of those Mazda 121 Metros. So remember, like the Mazda 121 had that bubble car version that was like the quintessential 90s car.
Yeah.
And then they
Someone at my
replaced it
units
with the
has a
Metro,
121.
which is like the Metro, and it's like the biggest
Boxy.
square car, and it's just, ugh.
I
it
quite
looks
like that.
offensive.
That's the one that Fred's mum's got.
Is it?
Oh, I
Mazda
hate,
Metro.
I do not like that car. It's what
Yeah.
the front you can look at. It's terrible.
The one Fred's got.
I don't like cars with really small engines.
The new Swift, which looks kind of cool. My sister's got one. Is horrible to drive.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I thought that
That's a
won some
shame.
bunch of awards because it was good.
It just feels loose. Everything just feels loose about it,
Oh.
and you don't feel you have control of the vehicle.
You're used to the Echo, which is just like tight.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, fang around at Osborne Park and that.
Yeah, someone in my set of units has a 121, and I always think
The bubble one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really cute.
Mm.
It's a really cute car. It's not well maintained, so it looks kind of crap, but it's a cute proportion. My two cars that I hate, and whenever I see them on the road, my skin sort of crawls. One of them is the Nissan Tida.
Yeah,
What's that?
It's a hatchback. It's small, but it's just awfully proportioned. It's just so ugly.
Okay.
It's so boring and just
the picture that you have is. Oh.
everything about it is just like wrong. Just that little bit wrong.
That's like the most generic, boringest car ever.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's out of It's
and
all
the thing,
weird.
okay, and the thing I hate about it.
It looks like an Echo with the two doors. The two-door Echoes. Have you seen them?
I
They're
don't like
all
how
weird.
how the bigger Echoes look.
Yeah.
The one with the boot? No.
Yeah,
Oh, any hatchback that's given a boot looks weird.
but that's what this looks like.
Oh, hatchbacks with the
This
boot
is
are
not-
terrible.
Yeah,
This is originally
it's the
like
worst.
this. It's not even.
And they're not even useful. They're just
no,
dumb.
it takes the use out of having hatchback.
Yeah, hatchback is like the most. I don't understand any car that has a boot. Like,
Yeah,
why wouldn't you just
the wagon.
like any sort of sedan? Why wouldn't you just make it a wagon?
Get a
Yeah.
station wagon. It's pretty good.
A sedan's just a waste of space.
Yeah, wagons are the best. Wagons and hatchbacks.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
So the Nissan Tida, and the thing is, that's a car that's being made now, and it's not like a cheap car. That's the other thing. You know, like if something's like 15 grand or whatever, I don't care. But this thing's not, and it upsets me. It's so ugly. And the other car I hate,
Controversial choice.
my
Excellent.
second
Yeah.
choice is the Honda Civic.
Let's see.
I think that's just the ugliest, droopiest, most
Famously the
ill-proportioned car.
most reliable vehicle in the world.
I don't care.
What?
It is
Let's
so
see.
badly styled. It's not a cheap
How is that
car.
famously the most reliable?
Well, I don't know about the current models, but if you bought a 1980 Honda Civic, it's still running today without, and you've never had
They
to
look
have
fine.
service.
I like those.
The new one?
Oh, I don't know what the new ones.
That's what I'm talking about. And I see them everywhere. There's so many of them.
The
and they're
1978,
kind of droopy.
1979.
I'm not talking about... What I'm talking about are the current models of these cars. And because they're new,
Can I see
someone's
the-
made that conscious choice to buy that thing. I can... In the used car market,
I
it's
love
a
the
different
Civic
game.
in the 80s. I thought it was classic.
Anyway, it's the new Civic I hate. So there you go. Things that make me hate.
Did I see a picture of the new Honda Civic, James?
So question of the week. Are we up to that now?
I think we are.
I think we better rock onto question of the week.
Yeah, well, I gotta go.
We got to go talk about what I've been consuming. Jeez.
Are we still doing consumption?
What? Haven't we
Fine,
moved?
Cam. Well,
No,
we've been all
no,
over the place.
No.
I gotta go at 11 sharp. So
The new Honda Civic, no.
I like it. I'd
No.
happily buy one. I'm gonna buy like a Honda something if in America that's super generic. It's like a Honda sedan. An automatic Honda sedan.
Why would you do that? What, to spite me?
Yeah, they're gonna phone you up, Camel. Hey, Camel.
And I'll
drive
be
you down
like,
to,
I've been
like-
enjoying your sandwich podcast. Thanks.
This is like a commercial van I see around Osborne Park that's like one of those all white kind of vans at the back, but it's got like super ultra low profile tires where like the spokes are really narrow. You can see right through them, and it just looks really weird. Like, it looks like the whole vehicle's going to collapse under it. If you had a job that had like one of those vans, would you try and soup it up?
Yes.
What, like if you worked for Bang Bros or something?
What are you talking about, Cam?
I don't know. James was doing some research here and was talking about
I
something.
don't know. I don't know. Never really heard of that. So
Me neither. Just sometimes words come out and it's like I'm some sort of vessel for just ideas that are floating through the ether. I'm just a conduit.
I was gonna say, this is kind of a question of the week, but it's sort of a topic. But like, you know how people are really freaking out about privacy now, like Facebook knowing too much about you and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, we're heading to this reality. Like, what if we have nanobots that are IMAX cameras, you know, and you could fly an IMAX camera up a girl's vagina without her even knowing? She wouldn't even know.
What are you going to see in there that you want to look at in HD?
What do you want
in
to see?
3D HD.
Flying off a vagina on the big giant screen in like perfect
Not
resolution.
right up inside it.
Is this your plan for like the best porno?
Yeah. No, but
Just
no,
sending an
just way
IMAX
low.
camera
just think
up a
about the
woman's vagina.
privacy consequences. Like once,
Any no orifices safe.
yeah, once we have IMAX cameras that are nanobot sized, there's going to be no privacy. You just have stuff floating around you.
I would rather a shot from like the inside of my butt than one from the outside of my butt.
Because
I wouldn't be concerned about internal shots.
So you're not worried about people
Someone
filming
could
inside
broadcast
you.
no.
Hold on. This is the new new cam show we're gonna set up. Fred's not even bothered.
It could be
We've got
anyone. No one can tell.
Oh, we'd call it sexy Fred. We'd
Shot
just do internal
from
shots.
inside me, like one of those pills you swallow. That's going to be a webcam series.
Yeah.
Would you watch that?
But how
if
does
a
it get?
supermodel
How does
swallowed
it
one
get?
of those pills, would you watch the footage?
Why? No. Why would I?
No, but how does it get?
I love
into you?
embarrassing bodies, though.
Yeah, but that's all from the outside.
No, sometimes they show you.
but how
You
does
don't
it?
know what's going on. It's just
But how does it get inside? It has to fly from the outside, so you're going to see everything on the outside as well.
How?
Yeah.
What? Well, no, because you're going through the clothes and things. You wouldn't see what's on the outside.
Why?
You
If you're
couldn't get
flying
the-
towards a person, if the person's over there,
Yeah, you'll see the person
for like 1 second.
if you're at the
and then it'll go
at a
through
concert,
the fabric.
you're at a concert and you see a hot girl and you just fire this nanobot at her and you just records the footage of approaching and going up everywhere.
Yeah, but you're not going to see anything intimate because, well, apart from the most intimate. But the thing is, okay, we're not talking about X-rays here. We're talking about just a camera. Right? So the camera's approaching, getting closer. And then in order to get inside an orifice, it has to go through the fabric. So you're not going to see much except fabric. And then, you know, you're just going to be
so close to the skin,
jammed up.
it'll
You're
just
not
be
going to
like
see
So you're just
anything.
never going to take your clothes off, just in case the nanobot IMAX camera comes.
I'm not saying that at all.
I'm just talking about, like, what's privacy is going to become non-existent when everyone's
When
going to...
James is navigating nanobot cameras.
First thing he does is
into a women's vagina.
jabs are right up.
No, but everyone's going to be doing it. Everyone's got an iPhone. Everyone's going to have a nanobot camera and just a fleet of them, you know, networking together. And
What, to create a 3D model of render of
I'm just
someone?
saying, like, people are freaking out now. It's only going to get worse.
People like you in charge, definitely.
Or you think it's not going to happen?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it out there. I don't think people are gonna be flying nanobots up vaginas.
This is going to
For
come back.
at least 10 years.
Your
I'm putting it out there.
Your kids are going to be so embarrassed when they hear, oh, listen to Dad, he's such an old fogey. He didn't think we'd be flying nanobots into each other's butts. What did Dad know? Okay, I'll put it out there. I think it's going to happen.
But
Harry?
Now, put a nanobot anywhere in any situation, it just changes the entire world, you know.
But you're talking
That's because we don't have nanobots.
And cinematography, pornographic cinematography is going to be one place it's going to happen.
We've already got cameras we
need
can put
nanobots,
inside
yeah.
people's bodies.
Pardon?
You don't need to wait for 50 years or whatever.
Yeah,
You can
for
do that right
nanotechnology.
now. You've got small enough cameras to put in people's orifices. You've got people that are willing to have cameras put in their orifices. We're not moving anywhere new with this, except for the involuntary nature of what you're describing.
Well, that's the point. The people... I was talking about the privacy implications.
I like how you're trying to frame it like it's a privacy debate. I don't know. Fred's not worried about things in his butt.
It probably doesn't affect us like the common people, but like all the celebrities are just going to be like,
Oh, okay.
everyone's going to have sex tape because there's going to be a million nanobots in their room. Like it's just going to be this dust in the room of IMAX cameras filming celebrities at
Wouldn't
every
you eventually
step.
you just get over it? Nothing. You just accept
Exactly.
nothing's private.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah,
fuck it.
so that's
If you
how
wanna see
society's
me
going to
brooding. That's
change.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Couldn't you
Yeah,
have?
well, this is the way it goes.
What about EMPs?
Yeah.
What if you had an EMP in your vagina? Would that solve it?
Wow.
I don't think there'd be any effect.
So do you think there's just going to be this massive warfare happening around you? Of
You sell like
IMAX?
electric panties, which have like some Faraday keys
lead
in it.
clothes.
You're going to have a whole defense system that's going to
yeah.
shoot micro lasers to fight other nanobots
like
that are
Israel
invading
and
space.
Palestine.
Yeah, just on a microscopic scale.
Probably.
Wow. How
Yeah,
crazy would
little
that be?
shoulder-mounted rocket launchers.
How many years are we away from that, Fred?
2?
100?
100.
100? No way.
Someone made a laser that can shoot down a mosquito.
Was that
Someone
you?
could also just make a
No, I
fleet of nanobots to just eat human flesh, except for this particular DNA of him, and then everyone else gets eaten.
Yes. Isn't that one of your favourite Michael Crichton books?
What, Jurassic Park?
Well, he used nanobots, but he had them like, doing other stuff. I don't know.
Did his future involve any orifice cameras?
He couldn't have predicted that.
Well, he probably.
Hey, check it
he's
out.
not
We've got a
banging
visitor
around.
from a praying mantis on the computer, the white one, on the cord.
Oh,
Oh,
awesome.
cool.
Hey,
up,
look, he's
praying-
waving.
hey, praying
Hey,
Come
praying
join the
mantis.
Fangin around crew.
Are they bipedal?
No.
No, he's got 4 legs.
Oh,
What
he's
a
off.
legend.
He's not impressed.
Can I borrow your camera from this angle?
I found one on the car recently when we were parked at the shops, and I brought it into the car. Nazario was already in his seat, and I brought it into the car to show him, and it jumped on him and started crawling all over his face and head. He
Did
loved
freak
it.
out?
No, he was giggling so much because it was tickling him. He doesn't get freaked out by the bugs. It was about this size, actually. Not too big.
That's totally awesome. They're such a cool animal.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing.
It's recording.
So is that your question of the week?
Oh, it's just a concept I was throwing out there, scary concept for the future. I was wondering, are there any... are we going to go on to questions of the week? I'll save some other
I
things
guess
for later.
How do I do a camera, a photo, James?
You just switch it from camera to photo mode, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Osborne Park update.
Yeah, what is it?
Oh, your ladies.
I'll follow up about John McAfee. He guess where he turned up?
Nicaragua.
No, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast. He called in. Where else would you expect him, quite frankly?
Who?
He was on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Who are we
He
talking
called
about
in.
though?
McAfee, the
McAfee,
like,
you know, we were talking
murdering
about last
guy.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He just...
The praying
he's-
mantises eat mango.
I think they're insectivores, I think.
So awesome looking. Top 10 animals.
receptionist update. Okay, so I went back to this other place.
Yeah.
Third,
Oh, wow.
you know how I said there was this one
yeah.
place? I went there in the morning, afternoon, and they had 2 insanely hot receptionists, right?
Yeah.
Went back the third time. Third hot reception.
Oh my god. I think you're onto something.
They're just hiring hot receptionists left and right.
So is this like ground zero?
Are you
Uh,
allowed to do that? Is that discrimination?
and I did the whole trick you guys were talking
Which
about.
one?
For the third one.
What was the trick? Because we came up with a bunch
Well,
of schemes.
it wasn't a trick because I had to do it anyway.
The
but-
fake signature.
Yeah,
Well, that's not a
and
trick at
turns
all.
out she went. The third one went to Perth Mod, so we have all these mutual friends, and she has like,
Who is it then?
she has like gypsy eyes.
Was she in our year?
She has gypsy
No, she's younger than
eyes.
Do you guys into gypsy eyes?
I don't know what you
That
mean.
sounds kind of racist.
Mm.
What does it mean?
Well, they're just different eyes. Like the most famous,
like each one's
probably
different.
the sort of the most famous example that you might know is Claire Filani. Claire Filani, you know her?
I don't know who that is.
And she's like
She's
in
in
that Meet Joe Black, and I think
She
maybe
was
some
pretty
Kevin
ridiculous in
Smith
that.
films, maybe.
Yeah.
What do you mean by gypsy eyes? Like the shape of them?
Yeah, different sort of colour and different sort of pupils, and they just look a bit exotic. The next part of the thing is like,
How's her hair though?
it was nice.
Oh,
That
It was-
doesn't
it-
sound-
didn't
nah,
sound-
nah.
See this well because her eyes are just so amazing that that's all you really
God,
think
what a
about.
charmer you are, James.
And but the question about this is like,
What's her
girls
name?
can get contacts now and change their eyes, so they could have been fake gypsy eyes.
Was they cat
Is this
eyes
a-
1 week? And then you know it's fake.
Because didn't a girl in our year have cat eyes like the whole year? No, just
No, not the whole year. No, yeah, one of them did. I remember in year like 9 workshops. Just get the crap out of it.
Is that when you just arrived from Tasmania?
No, it wasn't that much of a joke.
But you can't trust women's eyes now because they could be.
Oh, I know.
I've noticed. I've started trying to notice.
Sometimes they dye their hair.
I've tried-
Sometimes
yeah.
they wear makeup. Sometimes
Yeah,
they
I've
wear
been
push-up bras.
big on trying to pick fake eyelashes out.
Oh right,
But then apparently you can get like
really subtle ones.
eyelashes bonded to your eyes.
Mm.
One of Zoe's friends did it.
So
Well,
what is-
heaps of girls have the
So that
extensions in their hair.
permanent-
That's what screws me up because
Oh, this is like the inverse of the weight thing you have
Yeah.
going on. You
Yeah.
think some girl's got massive
you,
hair.
you
then
start
Yeah.
running your hands through it and it all falls
it's all
out.
horsehair or something.
Oh, what's that? It's a bit like bestiality,
yeah.
isn't it?
So question of the weeks: Campbell, last generation invasive species concept.
Yep. So this is my concept. I think I've pitched it here on the show before, and I want to take people's thoughts. So Australia, obviously quite an isolated country for an extended period of time. We've brought with it lots of invasive animal species that are problematic, such as cane toads, rabbits, foxes, cats, dogs. What if we were to propose, what if the government were to propose a last generation policy for invasive species that were kept as pets? So things like dogs and cats.
What do you mean a last generation policy?
So this was like, if within 2013, the beginning of 2013 to the end of 2013, an animal like a cat is pregnant, they can see that through to term, and then after that, no more
So you're going to
breeding
ban
going
cats and dogs?
Yeah.
on. And rabbits
No.
from,
People would never do that.
and that's it. So there's no putting these animals down. It's just everyone
breeding.
is all the breeding places
You're
shut
going to have
down.
to abort a shitload of animals.
No, I'm
'cause
saying
they're
there's
gonna-
no abortion.
They're going to
No.
root. Nature has a way. So there's some squad that like finds puppies and murders them.
No, desexes them, Fred.
Just sexes them all.
Oh, there'll be some renegade bunch.
Yeah, well, you could keep,
It'll never work.
You could keep them.
Yeah, and they go to jail just like there's druggies on the street. They're dealing drugs.
And then, so what they do is the government would offer a buyback scheme for any businesses or a reimbursement scheme where they start up breeding programs for things like chudiches, things like bilbies.
But you can't have them as pets.
Why not?
Because they're wild animals. They don't have the temperament. They just
How
run
long
away.
do you think it would take to breed in
They did that,
domestication?
and it took 30 years for foxes in Russia. I
Yep.
think it was.
And they became like
so
dogs.
let's start now.
So
Why
in
wait?
30 years, we
But
could
then
have
it's
domestic
not really a
bilbies.
native animal. It's some weird domesticated native animal.
Yeah,
It'd
but as
still
long as they don't
crossbreed.
eat the other
I
native
think
animals.
you should do a fade in, fade out. You should start breeding Quidditches or whatever they were called and numbats now, and then make them attractive pets, and then people would buy them, and then just people forget about cats and dogs.
But-
like you're being too harsh. People would never go for it.
You know, like
I think you got to do this clean break. It's,
So it'll be
it's like people that go in rehab. They don't go, oh look, you're shooting up every day, but how about we just, instead of like twice a day, you just do it.
So there'll be
half a
some
day.
kind of
It's
I
not
am
that.
legend,
It's like,
but for dog situation where there's one 15-year-old dog still alive wandering around like this empty dog park,
yeah.
wondering where they all went.
As far as I'm aware, dogs are not major problems for anything, are they? They don't go around killing native animals. They don't
Yeah.
Look, I threw dogs in
Live
there because I
ferally
know.
in the wild.
Look, I threw dogs in there just to appease people because I'm sitting here with two cat lovers.
Yeah.
So really, I'm just
But-
saying, let's get rid of cats.
In the same way, pet cats don't really do a whole lot of damage. It's the feral cats that are the.
There's so many.
problem.
There is so many more rats.
So
around our
killing
house
everyone's
than
pets is not
cats.
going to stop any feral cats.
Yeah.
Well, we need to catch all the ferals. There's an estimated. Here's Tim Flannery's estimation. Cats, domestic and feral, account for 70 million native species and native animal deaths a day. 70 million.
Yeah, but what proportion
deaths.
of that is pets, and what proportion of that is
Oh, he doesn't know. Well, I'm saying it all needs to go. I'm saying they all need to go. And how we manage that is, I don't know.
I think they should do the opposite. I think they should introduce pumas into wild Australia. Yeah, you heard me.
Introduce what? Pumas.
Pumas and pants
Oh.
and stuff.
Have you seen any of the giant cats that they find? The giant ferals?
They ruled some council ruled that they don't exist.
Oh.
They closed down the investigation. I don't think your plan's going to work. People just won't buy it. People love cats.
They could love a chudich.
No.
It's a native cat. They're even better looking.
You'd have to do
But then
some
wouldn't they
crazy
eat other
genetics.
things? Can they eat rats?
Yeah,
It'd be like a ferret, wouldn't it?
they're like a native cat. But with a pouch, you could put your remote control in it.
Yeah.
Do they like...
You could put a Nano-bot camera
Put a
in there.
Fitbit in on it and we can track it.
Yeah. Fitbit.
This is my question. Obviously, hopefully we're going to have autonomous cars soon.
Yep.
With little cameras in your butt.
And obviously that they're going to make decisions in microscopic situations.
Microscopic situation.
Well, I don't know what do you call it?
I don't know what you mean.
You mean the butt?
Fraction of a second.
Nanosecond.
Nanoseconds.
Yeah, millisecond.
With the nanobots. In your nanobots.
Would you want the computer to make a decision where it decides to sacrifice your life in order to increase the chances of a busload of school children from being killed? So that it sees an accident happening and it says, statistically, I'll save more people by sacrificing my own passenger than the bus ahead that's likely to have more passengers on it. Well, it could possibly will know.
Is it that
later.
smart?
Well, eventually
they'd
will
have
be.
to all work as a network, really, wouldn't they?
No, well,
All
the bus,
vehicles.
yeah, they'd have to communicate because the bus would have the same technology.
Okay. So if it's some sort of
And that'd
hive
be
mind
like-
type situation,
Yeah.
where it decides...
Trying to
And
save
it's-
itself.
the bus
and
is
the car would be
registered
trying to
50
save itself.
passengers.
So, yeah.
The other car's registered 1. A machine. It's like like
In iRobot.
That
in the
sounds
Air
way
Force.
too iRobot.
In the Air Force, in Top Gun, right? They didn't try and save Goose first because he was statistically less likely to survive than Maverick.
But then Maverick, he
Was like,
ruined his
no.
career. Yeah, Goose.
Goose, no.
I guess you'd have to program that in.
Yeah,
Otherwise you'd be kind of a douche.
but wouldn't you prefer to buy the car that saved you?
So you want
Could you mod
to
it?
download some patch for
Yeah.
the car to prioritize you
Yeah.
over children.
So essentially,
Would you do it?
Would you have
No.
the cars all working collectively or individualistically?
Because what if the computer decides that the
Selfishly, to save the person it works for rather than the greater good of humanity.
Because the whole point of the robot uprising was that the robots decided that the best way to save
if-
humans was to get rid of them all. So this
Yeah.
computer in charge of the road network might just decide
Chooses
that
to kill the most people.
just kill everyone or don't
What if
drive
it-
anymore.
what if it-
or
have you
save
guys-
the most lives, no cars are allowed
Yeah.
to move.
Have you guys heard of Clout?
Clout,
Oh.
punching people.
Or
No,
is that the web
it's
thing?
a service, that it judges how influential you are based on what you do on Twitter and how the world reacts around you from what you do on Twitter.
Yeah, but it sounds like all that. There's like a million.
So Lady Gaga's the most powerful person in the world because she can tell people to go do this and
Yeah,
it changes the world because she has that many followers.
Yeah.
So what if the machines could calculate the Clout score and say, hey, let's save Lady Gaga because she generates an entire industry. She generates an entire industry of people producing her concerts and records
No,
and
you
merchandise.
can't do that. You can't do that. One life's got to be equal to another life.
All right.
What if it's the most
No
hated
waiting.
person on the internet?
What if it was Albert Einstein who crashed and then
No, because the computer can't.
and
do
it's a school, it's a prison bus full of criminals.
It's
so
like in
because I got
Dark
a
Knight.
doctorate, I should get prioritized over you for having a head-on collision.
Yeah.
No, I'm down for that.
Oh,
No, well, but would you be worth more than one person?
No,
Like,
I'm
would they
saying you
ever-
have to have one life is one life. You can't.
All right, so down, but when it came down to 1-on-1, it's like
then
Fred might be more
it just
useful.
calculates the probability of each of us. So if it swerves your car, there's like a 60% chance you'll live. If it swerves me, there's only a 2% chance I'll live. So it'll
What if
swerve
it's
you.
50-50? Do they just crash into each
Well,
other?
then the computer
and
just
see what
breaks down
happens? Yeah.
It just chooses one.
logical fallacy.
Yeah.
Well, we have to program that in. What's going to happen when 50% happens?
Reprogram 0.1 seconds later, and then eventually someone will win. It's not exactly this perfectly symmetric collision of two cars. Like,
Oh, it might happen, friend. Might happen.
oh, well, then the computer crashes and two people die.
Oh,
And
the
then we
whole
have some
system would
computer
fall
looking
apart.
at that computer that's like, well, if this computer doesn't crash.
So you guys you wouldn't hack your car to save you.
Isn't that the equivalent of speeding or something now?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
lots
I
of
guess
people
so.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the odds of this happening are very, very slim. You know,
Yeah.
But they're
in a
there.
situation.
What if you took your car out for a bit of a fang, and there you are in that situation? You'd think, oh shit,
Should have patched
I
it.
should have patched it
I think you guys ever see iRobot with Will Smith. I think that's sort
Yeah,
of
I
the
think
whole
we
genesis
spoke
of
about
that
it.
was
right at the beginning.
he saves the kid. The robot saves him
instead
over
of
the
kid.
child because he was just
But he's got a
more like
sweet
survivor.
robot arm out
Yeah.
of the deal.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's always whinging about it.
I don't remember that.
And he's like, damn!
The only thing I remember of that is the All Stars, so that was like some of the best product placement ever in a movie.
And that
Because it was
TDK
so explicit.
CD player.
And I was just like,
Yeah, wasn't he? The movie came out in like 2003 or something, and he was like, "Oh yeah, my 2003 leather Converse All Stars just arrived."
yeah. And he pulled them out of his box, and then he put them on, and then the movie just like went about his business. It was so explicit.
Well, I think just before that, he started up his TDK CD player and put the.
apparently people were
CD.
complaining because this Heineken's all throughout Skyfall.
Did you know that Apple never pays for, never receives payment for product placement?
Because on 30 Rock it says promotional furnishings.
Yeah, because what happens is, if you're an art designer, you can ring Apple and say, "Can we use your computers and props?" And Apple actually has an employee dedicated to just saying, well, obviously they decide if the show's worth their time to have their product in it, and then they send you out computers to use as props, and so they get them free, but Apple doesn't receive any money. Well, no, Apple doesn't pay any money never pays money to put products in their movies. But they did get them free. That's why it says thank you to Apple.
Okay. Alright. We're going to have to wrap up.
Any other questions of the
Well,
week?
you or Harry have a question of the week?
No.
Harry?
No.
Alrighty then. Thanks for joining us on Fangin' Around. You can find us at fangaround.com. We've got a listener mail segment there. You can write us an email like Brizzy did today.
Yeah, thanks, Rizzy.
Thanks, Brizzy.
Keep those pictures coming.
Yep. We'll film Fred smoking a certificate.
No,
on,
I'm not doing that.
Well,
Friday, and we'll post it on the Fang Around YouTube page.
We'll have his Gape cam show going soon.
As long as it's anonymous, you can put in whatever footage from inside me anyway. You like.
So we put it on the Fang Around YouTube page, which will be one of 4, and one of them's talked about wanting to do it on the podcast.
We'll just have the
No, I
audio
don't,
of
I
you.
don't want to do it. I'm just saying that internal shots don't terrify me.
Yeah, but it has to be external before it can be
You
internal.
cut that out. You got to censor that.
So now you want something censored.
Yeah.
It's not going to have that. You won't have the choice in this future
I'm
world.
saying if you had to censor shots from the outside of you or the inside of you, which one would you censor?
Probably the outside.
Yeah. That's my point exactly.
Okay.
But Fred's saying we can act on this.
No, I'm not saying you can act on it. I'm explicitly not
mind.
saying.
We'll go and talk to our medical friends and get a special camera for Friday night and be like, Fred, you have a choice.
You guys gotta get me
Smoke
baked
the
on that.
certificate or you get a camera on the phone.
You guys are not invited.
Okay,
that
thanks
is
for joining us, Harry, in Scotland. I hope you have a good week riding.
Best of luck, Harry.
Thanks, guys.
We miss you.
See ya, Harry.
Yeah.
miss you.
Yeah. Find us everything at fangaround.com. Tell your friends. Leave us a review on the iTunes store. Even if you
Please
don't
send
use
us some
iTunes,
messages.
it'll be awesome.
We love listener mail.
Yes. Thanks for all the people who
What?
have. We've had a heap of people putting reviews up. Thanks heaps. It's helped us
Yeah.
out. And anyone else who wants to do the same, we'd love it too. We'll catch you next week, hopefully. Catch you around.
Bye.
All right, see ya.